Heck yeah, Winchester. Who's the favorite to win? Falcons. Like I said, I still think, like, Nightmare, if they play like they did yesterday, it's going to be a really, really good match. Straight up. If they play like they did yesterday, it's going to be a great match. If they don't play like they did yesterday, that is where it could get a little bit. So we'll see.
I totally agree with Mitch on the desk that this he's saying Pharah could potentially, like, you know, it's going to be a problem, I think, to be able to see Pharah come out at all from this Falcons roster, because he's saying was just such a big deal in a lot of these matches.
Here we go.
But I think
match is live. First match is started. Duck, thanks for the 3 months of the Prime, so thank you. Appreciate it.
And instead, we're going to see Team Falcons kind of lock into what they have previously.
I gave myself an extra hour of sleep. Yep. Because I knew it was going to be a show match. I was like, okay, I'll get on after. We'll be good.
This Nightmare team.
I mean, this is how they became champs last year, right? Team Falcons on this Mauga.
Well, rough start. They're obviously on the Mauga comm. They're going to kill a couple there.
Should be pretty easy to deal with the Juno, just body blocking the doorway as well. Yeah, there's no support now for Nightmare to back them up with. They were trying to cap the point, but
I mean, rough start. Rough start. But again, like yesterday, Nightmare started off rough on Ilios, and they ended up winning 3 in a row. So
that swap as well to maybe go over to the Mauga, but it doesn't look like it.
I don't think Nightmare wants to take the mirror. I think like I think that we're in a part of Overwatch now where the heroes like Mauga is nerfed enough to not have to feel like you have to go Mauga versus Mauga. I think Nightmare needs to play to their strengths, so I'm trying to play into like how Falcons want to play. Good pick on Fielder. Yeah, Stalker's taking a lot of damage. I mean, they're going to have to back away now. Yeah, I was going to say.
Nightmare, with that pick from Lethal, we're actually going to take a look at Lethal, maybe even getting this overclock up pretty soon.
Yeah, Lethal should have it soon. The problem is that if they get engaged on without having an ultimate, that's going to be where they're going to lose this. So if Lethal can get that ultimate in time without going down, that's going to be the huge key. Good job, like stuff like that won't be seen there, but like Hanman was about to engage in, and then that. Ooh, nice shot. Fielder again. They let it flip, but that's okay. Like, nice job. There he has Blade coming up, so good start for Nightmare. Falcons are coming up on like a bunch of ultimates soon, but Nightmare has enough right now to still win this. Also, the volume level is good to start today, chat.
Amazing. Nightmare only investing overclock into this, and they get to hold on to both these support ultimates that are going to be coming up pretty shortly. And so orbital ray advantage for them. I think that fights a lot better into the Kitsune rush than kind of the vice versa of this rally. So Nightmare look like they're going to have a bit of an advantage, but double Blade.
Here we go, nice. You'd say Nightmare has ult advantage? Oh yeah, I mean they did have ult advantage. It's more like I get concerned when the teams will take their time a little bit in those ult advantages. Yeah, nice ult. Huge ult. Where teams are afraid to use their ults, I'm already liking the pacing that we're seeing out of Nightmare. And I'll explain that in a second. The pacing that what I'm saying is that like right there, like Kuffa going for that ultimate kill on Stalker. I think sometimes we've seen teams be a little bit more afraid, right? We've seen teams play a little bit afraid in those situations and not actually use their ults. So that's why I'm like, even though I see an ult advantage for Nightmare, I'm like, will the ult advantage actually happen?
I mean,
you know?
giving up this Sojourn duel completely, and Stalker,
yeah, has a great day today. Let's go.
Left in the bank, hopefully he's going to be able to build up to the EMP, because that's really what the Sombra is trying to accomplish here. Outside of just being able to shut down
Falcons have Blade here, so it's really going to come down to how this Blade timing goes. We'll see. There it is. Yeah, I mean, pretty much knew there was going to be a good Blade by Proper there. I'd say that's pretty good. Pretty good of a Blade, pretty decent, you know?
Huge numbers for Proper to be able to put up, and unfortunately Kuffa denies him.
I'm sure you'll get back on schedule soon, Winchester.
Let's watch this Dragon Blade back again. I mean, even though we saw the power slide away from Lethal, Proper
not as good as one of my blades. I mean, yeah, but like that can be tough, right?
On this ledge with Team Falcons.
Well, the problem right here is Nightmare doesn't have any ults to like really take this like map control. So once
I mean, this could be good. Nightmare's hopes for this round fall on Lethal to be able to get this pick on Proper.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's huge. Are they going to slow play it now? They lost Kuffa right away. Oh, no. Going to have to pop this, but
Lethal doesn't get slammed down onto the ground. Just 99%.
Really good first round, though. Really good first round. And one thing I will say is that, like,
75% on the board, though.
One thing I'll say about that is if there's going to be a map that's really strong for that Mauga comp, Control Center is one of them. Now, Night Market can be pretty strong too, but I would say Control Center is better for that. For the next 2 maps, would definitely play a little bit more into the play styles of Nightmare. Maybe Garden, you might see a Diva type of comp out of, or a Winston comp. Actually, I didn't see the bans, so I already forgot. So, our Twitch drops over? No, it's a new set of drops. This is day 3 of the new set of drops, so for OWCS. Yep. Another long stream day today, and then tomorrow's a day off, and then Monday, more drops and long days. Yep.
Close 5-map series that could have gone the way of once again. And now
okay, here we go. I'm ready.
What if they're the ones that actually send Team Falcons down to the lower?
So the Pharah comp, and I think the Pharah comp actually here gets a little bit interesting because what's going to happen is when you have Pharah, you end up taking away this one side of the map and you just spam out, which means that the space, like the strategy here is to basically play kind of like that King's Row horseshoe style where you disengage backwards. But the Pharah kind of can add a little bit of a problem to that team comp. So what needs to happen is here, Nightmare needs to slowly take map control, and then as they slowly take map control, they'll go in and then just win a team fight. And that's why you see exactly what Hanbin just did was the correct play. There's no reason to sit there on the point, right, and just wait to cap the point. Go in and just charge it and get a kill. And that's the impressive play right there that we really like to see. Got to give credit where credit's due again. Like, Team Falcons know how to play the Mauga comp and they know how to play it well. So it might take, a map for Nightmare to kind of see that comp again, right? Because we've seen such a variety of team comps being played in this tournament. So it can take a little bit of time to look at that and go, okay, here's what we're going to do.
As well as Admiral. And Team Falcons also can play this where the Pharah is going to struggle to actually get an angle on top of.
And the problem is they have to get the map control. Okay, they can kill Hanbin here now. I was going to say Hanbin is 1. Holy crap! I don't know how Hanbin. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I saw the cardiac overdrive and I'm like, Uzera might get isolated over there in a second. Thankfully, they don't even look for him, and nice kill by Lethal. There you go. So. Hey, good job by Nightmare there. I like that. I like that play. They didn't, like, again, it really wasn't shown right there. You could see it, though. The walls by Kuffa have been really strong on Hazard, and it's actually disrupting some of the plays by Team Falcons. Really good job by Nightmare. And now Nightmare's going to be in a bit of an ult advantage. They're gonna have Juno ultimate. They're going to have Brigel coming up. Obviously, Team Falcons are going to use their Kitsune pretty quickly. They might even combo it with their Genji, right? Might even combo with Genji. They're trying to control the high ground because I think the Pharah was behind and they want to, they're clearing it out.
Ideally here, you wrap to the point, right? Use the rush or use the rush in the mid to cut Nightmare in half. This barrage from Zera is going to be scary. Already got that first minor perk online.
They're definitely. I love this aggressive positioning by Zera, and like, even if he goes down there, I still like that. That means that we're seeing the same team we saw yesterday. That means we're going to see the exact same team we saw yesterday if Zera's position is that aggressive, right? One thing I've talked about, and I think Proper is going to get another kill here, but nice out by Admiral. So what I was going to say is, a lot of teams, like I said, will play kind of scared in these type of matches, and Nightmare, the reason why I think they did really well against CR yesterday is they didn't do that. And when I say scared, it's not really what they're not sitting there going, oh no, like we're playing, like, it's more like they just play a little bit slower tempo. Nightmare's tempo is really aggressive still, and seeing that aggressive tempo is a good sign. Like, Zera could easily back away, play really safe with spam, not get as many kills, right? So that's what I'm saying. The point I'm making is, like, the aggressive angles are good to see. Now, obviously, you don't want to have that happen right there, and I still think that Nightmare can win this with a good Hazard ult. But a great hack by Sombra. They're gonna let him flip the point for a second, chat. Oh, actually, they didn't even go for a point flip. Okay, they did do a point flip. Hanman's gonna get a free ult here in a second. I mean, Zera with a huge Pharah ult. It's only Hanbin on point. As long as they wait a couple seconds, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Actually, I love that wall, too. It's going to force Hanbin into a really weird spot on point. Yep. Cardiac overdrive. Admiral's blocking the shield there. That definitely gives time for Falcons to get back, though. There is a little bit of a window of opportunity here for Falcons to slowly touch the point and be up one. And it looks like the Sombra is going to flank around onto the... Yep. Yeah, that was a good play by Falcons. They recognized that they had time there, so they went and flanked around. Lethal might even go down here in a second, too, with the Sombra combo. They're going to try to pocket him, but, yeah, it might not be. Ooh. Holy crap by Proper right there. That was sick.
Championship-winning play already. Make that a
See, that Proper is also come to play today. But that was a really, that just shows you, like, how teams can be played so smart. Like, rather than, like, rush to the point and just, like, stagger on point, they knew they could touch point with, like, you know, Genji. Went and got a free kill on Farah and then backed away. I mean, it was excellent. Now, honestly, Falcons are kind of set up for a map win. Like straight up, because, like, you're going to have EMP here soon. So there's, like, a very slight timing that Nightmare has right now, and they lost that window. So if there isn't a quick brig ult here or a quick take, EMP's going to happen. And then that's going to be a problem. Then they're just going to get ulti out.
But Kappa is actually going to get hacked here as Admiral goes for the rally.
Need to be really aggressive.
Where we might be able to see the showdown.
There's the EMP. We knew that was coming. They kind of survive it, but now they have like every other ult in the game. And Proper is playing well. Kappa does get Brig, and they do trade. Oh my. I think, is Nightmare going to win this team fight? I mean, to survive what Falcons had ult-wise, to bring this to the next round, Nightmare came to play. This is what we needed to see.
Everyone talks about that supportive
backbone
of Team Falcons, but let's gas up this Nightmare backline. I think you just saw it in spades how much improvement Admiral has made as a competitive Overwatch player. When we last saw Admiral, the highlight of him really was that Lucio being able to play for the Overwatch League team, London Spitfire, but quickly found himself on the outs of that team and really running the gauntlet here in North America. And now that Brigitte,
all right, here we go.
Admiral was such a huge
Is Sombra targeting Cuff's Hazard? Probably. Because you can farm EMP fairly quickly and hack the block. But I think it's more of just the comfortable team comp they have. They'll run Sombra even when it's not a hazard. So I think it fits more of a strategy too. EMP is a little bit too early. I think the EMP... I don't know if they would have had time to give them points after the ult. I think they needed to be as aggressive with it. But I agree that their timing should have been before the Brig ult. Yeah, absolutely.
Locking the Farah. Mitch was saying on the desk, you know, you have to ban this away from Stalker on a control point, and we might just see why.
Yeah, Stalker's really good on Farah here.
This Team Falcons, they're in a prime position to cap.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Just because Zera is down doesn't mean that Nightmare are completely out of the fight. We've seen this a couple of times. Even though Zera was the first picked in a lot of market, Nightmare were still able to win out those fights at the end of the day.
I feel like Zera being picked off on market, though, was a part of strategy, though, with the Farah.
Guess what? Well, then, if you're going to play Farah, why do I not just give this another shot as well? And take a look at the angle that he's taking.
Oh, it's a very aggressive.
Going to be able to lock down a lot of his fights.
It's a very aggressive angle. Cardiac Overdrive's done. Good job using...
Taking down the idol, and maybe soon to be rivaling Proper. Nice little slam to the
I actually love this aggressive play.
Doesn't want to make this close, but Lethal finds a kill.
Nice shot by Lethal. And hits the shot on Farah, so like Farah can't really spam as much, so that should be a point flip again. Unless something miraculous happens on point. Nice shot by Zera. Yep. They're going to try to touch point one more time with Genji.
You may as well just go ahead and throw your body at the spawn and see if you can stand
there you go.
Control this point just a little bit longer.
Brig ult now for Nightmare. No ultimates on either team outside of that. Just a Brig ult. So. Yep, this match is already so good already. Oh, I know. I mean, if this is the standard of the matches today, it's going to be a great day of Overwatch, straight up.
A fight win again for Nightmare to extend their lead.
I mean, UV also has got 5% towards his, and Shio's 15% away. They could go fast if they want it. Lethal, overclock, Zera in the front line, Harm being the main focus, Cardiac Overdrive already used, Proper in the sidelines of Lethal right now.
Huge.
All deflects, all dash is gone from Proper, and there's Nightmare winning that fight.
Oh, damn, I didn't pull.
Off the back of just the overclock as well.
Lethal does go down there, but they should be able to trade. Yes, so that's a good trade.
Here, but it doesn't really matter too much when Lethal's got the power slide to come
so ult-wise now, Team Falcons have a massive advantage in that category. So Nightmare is in a unique spot.
Orbital right, that needs to connect.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to...
Cage
That's a tough one because, like,
everything basically thrown in by Falcons there.
that's a tough call, is what I'm trying to get at. There is, like, do you save your Juno ultimate off of that? And I would say that I think they did it right because you basically traded out 3 ultimates there, and that was a huge ultimate advantage for Falcons. So it's probably the right call. It just sucks when you have to throw away an ultimate, but sometimes it's good just to get some ults done, you know. Not really a good, not an easy L spot here for Kuffa.
Chio's just gonna fly away. Yeah. See you later. And now Kuffa's just not in the fight. Bryce is connecting.
Yeah, but I think Kuffa not being in the fight isn't like a bad thing there, because you're just peeling back quite a bit.
And overtime is swiftly approaching Rose.
Stalker's 1.
Stalker 30 HP in the sky.
Not 1 anymore.
Same with Fielder to back him up, heal him all the way back up.
Problem is they kind of lost their chance to like take point control.
More space to work with. Kuffa still hasn't used that downport, so that's going to be a great
Yeah.
way to be able to.
I mean, Zera's very good, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say on that type of stuff because like there's so many variables, but yeah, he's been very, very good.
Prop is dead.
There's no denying that.
Into the wall there. April finds an amazing initial pick. That wall is also kind of annoying for Harmbin, in all honesty.
That should be a good L. I think Kiriko's going to be caught in that. It's going to be 2 kills. Yep, excellent L by Kuffa.
I think Nightmare or Falcons even happy to lose this fight. They've got 99 on the board and they've got a couple.
Although they're happy to lose the fight, but I know exactly what he's saying. They're in a good spot.
So it really is
I actually think Nightmare can slow this down to 1 team fight. Actually, I think Nightmare can slow this down enough to where this is 1 team fight. And I think Falcons knows this. They might play a really aggressive like bridge charge here to force out an ultimate early.
Also another overclock. Nightmare have the ultimate economy, and we're in last fight. I think Nightmare.
Yep, there it is. Yep. Yep.
Ultraviolet dies. April with the emergency Q button, but he instantly gets destroyed.
And that right there is why Falcons are very good.
Team Falcons, despite almost double support ultimates from Nightmare, they've just gone and won it.
Yeah.
An overtime touch here for Kuffa does trigger it, but
it won't matter. Kuffa didn't. Yep. What a first map though. Nightmare played that just fine. That right there was exactly what I was talking about. You notice how Falcons just ran in there and didn't give them any time? They knew there was no way they would win that game if they played that slot. Right? That like Falcons have played enough to know that if you were to, like if you have ultimates and they don't have an ult advantage, they know they're just going to lose. So they rush in and then make you make a play, and they weren't ready for it. And that was why I was like, watch, Falcons are going to charge in, and they just charge right in. It's just a great play. Yes, Falcons did lose Runasapi against OA. I agree, but I'm also concerned of like just trying to force the Mauga trade. So, King's Row, okay. Like I said, I wasn't sure if they're going to pick King's Row because it goes into what Falcons' play style is. But I think when you're just confident on a map, you're just confident on a map. Like it does not matter. Like, and then this again, I kind of like by Nightmare. And what I mean by that, what I like about this is like when you are just playing to what you think is your best rather than trying to like be like, okay, let's like, you know, look at this number and that number and like, you know, maybe we'll find a map that Falcons aren't quite as good at, etc. Like, just if you like King's Row and you want to play King's Row and you feel you can play King's Row, you go and play King's Row. And that's what Nightmare is doing. And that's the most important part. Again, in these situations, it's about if these teams, the way that these teams play is like you need to play to win, not play not to lose. And Nightmare did that yesterday, and they're doing it again today. So I like that. I like that. Why do they really love Sojourn? I mean, why not ban her? Because I think both teams really like the strategy of having Sojourn. Like, so I think a good way to explain it is this, right? If a team is confident in their Sojourn player, they're not going to go and ban Sojourn. And Lethal plays Sojourn very well, and obviously so do players on Falcons. But like in a ranked game, it's a little bit different, right? Like in ranked, you're not having this type of teamwork. Sojourn is a very strong hero in here, don't get me wrong, and yes, you could ban Sojourn. But most teams like to have Sojourn in their strategies. So why, you know, both teams are pretty much okay with not banning it. The Pharah ban is more of like a prevent any spam type of issue, any concerns with like having to worry about them playing angles, because you know that Nightmare is capable of playing that, that like more projectile DPS style. So, yep. All right, here we go. King's Row time. It's time.
I like that a lot. It's very, very punishing for the Hazard. Obviously, right now, Kuffa is hovering the Winston. And something we did see a little bit early yesterday was this.
They're doing the horseshoe strategy. It's the one where they're just you know it. You know
Crazy
what I'm talking
was
about.
not expecting Liv especially was not expecting.
Why do I think we don't see many
locked,
Widow picks?
so I want to see
Widow's easily diveable.
Unless it's just like a Sonic
Is good for an early pick, like right here is, you know, go for an early shot. Genji, and then probably Sojourn is my guess from Lethal, unless they're going for a spam strategy, which could be. Yeah, they are. If they're staying Hanzo.
Yep. Pieces out of there.
Yep, see ya. Yeah, I don't mind it at all, right?
Oh, nice shot. There it is.
He does it again on
Fielder
point
didn't
A,
get the memo.
This is his point.
Yeah, I was going to say, apparently this is what Lethal did yesterday, too.
No more worry now about the Discord orb, so Cutback has a lot more.
I like what Zera's doing here, just kind of controlling this part of the map.
Oh, come on. Zera's got... Oh.
Yeah, Zera's got this.
See, last time we watched a Genji go for Ashe in that situation, it didn't go as well, so it was good to see that be a good result.
Going over to Nightmare. They're gonna get the
Nice play there, good job. Smart decision making. That's very well played.
As well, and I actually kind of wouldn't be surprised to see Fielder consider a different hero choice there, as we actually see the Brigitte now come out from him, as well as the Mauga from Hanbin. I mean, this has been...
I can't remember. It's okay. Yesterday I was playing Cassidy in the same situation, and I missed every shot on Ashe, so or Nada. So I get it, you know. I was just doing what I saw in OWCS, right? At the Mauga, I mean, this was predicted. Second point especially. First point, not expected.
It can be tough for Mauga to stand up in that versus the Nemesis form, but in the neutral here without Nemesis form.
Once Kuffa gets the perk, I think that's where it gets interesting. I think Hyman has a little bit of a timing right now.
Form and then, yeah, back off. Don't want to find any more damage with that. Dragon Strike almost.
Yeah, I can have a Hanzo ult soon.
The longer these fights go, though, the more time that Lethal has to get a headshot.
Snail, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you. Appreciate it.
To randomly find a log from across the map. I mean, needs one more arrow here or a little bit of time, and he's got the Dragon Strike and an incredibly frustrating.
You ready for an amazing Hanzo ult, chat? I know I am.
But they got to be expecting it. Dragon Strike through the wall.
That they might kill Brig.
But Proper's happy with that.
Oh, nice. That was a proper deflect.
As Proper hunts for a third kill.
Proper's playing very well today.
Sent out by
Did you miss the Saturday drops? Yeah. It's Sunday now, so they're on the Sunday drops. They reset at like midnight or something.
Sees that the Hanzo was a great point A hero pick, but now goes over to the Sojourn to be able to match Stalker. And I think it's also better on some of these straightaways that you have on the second point of King's Row, and also just considering where we're going to go for the third point as well. But yeah, I mean, Orbital Ray committed there. I think you had to. Just knowing that the Dragon Strike split up the team, you needed to have that additional healing investment. But
here we go.
Has the blade already too.
He saved it. Oh, he
nice play by Lethal. Good reaction there. Hyman's going to back away now, and they know that they're going to be able to kill him if they over... Yeah, I was going to say. Honestly, I actually kind of like what Zera just did right there. That was actually a smart play. Because if the Brig just tries to run away, you can kill the Brig later. So why sit there and try to 1v1 a Brig when you can literally just go and to like help your team get kills, and then if the Brig tries to get out, you kill the Brig. It was a good reaction by Fielder, though, to just like go right to the point. Obviously, that's the correct play, but sometimes, you know, players are trying to extend out a little bit longer than they should there, and that's like a huge difference. Yeah. Look at play by Kuffa. Now you just pop Juno ultimate and go with Blade. Not Blade. Yeah, Blade. Yeah. Only concern here is the Mauga. Yeah. Or I guess Stalker hit a shot.
Nice headshot finishes off the Blade, and Genji is Proper find himself in the backline once again with the
Proper's low.
Big trade though in the front line as Cuffa's Nemesis form does end up running out. A Ravenous Vortex and a Shield Dance there to try and dish as much damage out as possible to Hanbin with his cage.
Damn, what a good target focus by Falcons.
To deal with. Is just
that needed to be perfect target focus before that happened.
And they managed to hold this payload.
I mean, even with the healing investment that came through from Admiral, that cage on top of the fact that Hanbin had that cardiac overdrive, it was just taking too long for Kuffa to actually finish up on those. Okay,
so Falcons have Juno ultimate. They might engage early here, kind of very similar to the engagement we saw on the previous map, when they know they don't have much, and they're probably predicting at least 2 ultimates on Nightmare. So don't be surprised to see an aggressive Juno ult play.
Yeah, that was the win con. Like you pointed out, the Ray Blade should be super
There it is. Yep.
There's the push from Falcons. Ray deployed.
They disengaged not correctly. I mean, there's just a 1v1. Oh, man.
And his blade is as sharp as ever.
They brought a Juno to a 1v1.
Can't invest the overclock here, but they're investing the rally.
I like this. I like this.
Fielder didn't expect Admiral to just assault him that way. Just his whole
And this right here, by the way.
And in 4v5, Nightmare.
That right there, chat.
And that good vortex too.
Like that play is why Nightmare has been winning games and doing well in these matchups. Because what teams do we see? What teams do we see constantly go for 4v5s or 3v5s and win them?
So good. I think
Falcons and CR, right? That's the strength, is they recognize they can win team fights. Right there, they were down one. They said, no, we're not going to sit here and reset and take like a safe play. We're going to go in. Now it gets interesting because they can lead off with Sojourn ultimate. They don't have to worry about Mauga ult for now. I think they think that they both have Sojourn and Blade, so they're trying to like play a little bit safer, but yeah, there you go. Nice. They're going to get a free pick. They can play defensive. They are going to all-in cuff us, so they're going to try their best to... Okay, here comes the Blade by Proper. But if Ultraviolet pops this Juno ultimate very, very soon, they have a timing. There's the Blade coming in.
A blade pulled by Zera, however. Proper dashes straight into him, thinking he can get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you got to do with Blade. Kind of just reset. The feels bad, but it's the correct play. Not the fun play, but the correct play.
So this ult dump from Nightmare netted them nothing.
No, and they've got to back up because Kuppa's still coming back from spawn. But you have some time to work with here. Minute 40.
I mean, Mauga out Blade, but Falcons might slow play it. And then they're waiting for, I actually like what Kuppa's doing. They're flanking left side and taking the 1v with a 2v2. This is going to make a decision for Proper where, yep, you're just going to go in, probably pop the ult. There it is. Yep. I think they only get one, but I think the dash reset will definitely help Proper get the kill. Yeah. But that was kind of the correct play from both teams. Like, you don't really have many ultimates on Nightmare, so like, what do? You need to force out ultimates. So they do that. Concern here for Nightmare is that Falcons now have a Juno ultimate, and they're going to play very close with it. They're going to try to take a little bit of poke damage, and they're hiding Hanbin on purpose. Hanbin's there, so that way they can basically set up for a slam play in 1%. They're going to slam play very soon. May even be sooner. Yeah, there it is. Now they're going to Juno ult. This is to play aggressive. The right click might pick up a kill. Admiral does at least survive the initial play, but yeah, they's got to get out again. Lethal gets a kill. But, yep. Very good play across the board here. Okay, now Nightmare puts themselves in a better spot. Falcons are not quite able to like fully predict the ultimates here, I think. So they're going to play aggressive. Yeah. Again, this goes back to the previous play that we saw on the previous map. I think Nightmare were obviously ready for it because they had scouted it. Hanbin's going to be really low soon. Like, really low. They're gonna go for that kill. The problem is the Juno keeps them alive up there. So that could be a very interesting spot. This is very unique. Admiral's coming back as Moira. Kaffa is going to be able to ult on point in a second. So I think they might be able to... it's so hard to say.
Stalker 2 ripping his own OC. Can they actually find these kills though? Zera, oh, he gets two.
Oh my, by Stalker. Did you just see that?
Can still maybe survive and get back to the rest of his team, but Zera finishes him off with just a plain shuriken. Overtime ticking down.
What a round though. Captures what, you know, hey, captures the point. Hey buddy. Hey pal. What are you up to?
It was a hard battle, but they did it at the end of the day to be able to secure all 3 points on King's Row. And I think, like, it does come down to the wire. Really smart play, though, to be able to just kind of macro go for forcing out those ultimates from Team Falcons, understanding that they still had enough time if they took those fights early to get that 3rd contest, and with ults to spare of their own.
Zera being able to secure the kill onto Stalker, which is so pivotal. Stalker getting the kill onto Zera just nets him a high ground advantage or even a backline advantage, and that's a very different fight. We'll see what Nightmare want to do on their defense. Going to rock out with the same thing. Now, this is where I'm curious. How do Falcons now approach this? They didn't start with the Mauga. They do have a chance to change, and I wonder if Fielder is actually going to go to the Zen. Didn't stay on it for too long after getting logged by Lethal. But it's a real possibility.
I don't know. I feel like the Zenyatta is just so exploitable. it's so squishy. You can see how Kuffa, with this giant health pool, is so comfortable being able to walk back there. And if you do have the Zenyatta alongside Chio, that's easy pickings. That is simply easy pickings, either
Falcon's
for
going for the
Ramattra or
Hanzo.
even this Genji that Zera has locked into for this defense. But as we see Team Falcons leave spawn, okay, we do have the Zenyatta, which...
Ramattra versus Ramattra,
will
okay.
help out with this Ramattra duel as Hanbin starts on that hero, but eventually decides, maybe I can go for something that's going to be a bit faster paced as we see
now
the
Sully
Diva
can
lock.
get pet, and I can talk into the mic.
Easy to get to the high ground. It's just becoming a tradition at this point.
I do like this Hanzo play. It's like a Hanbin going the D.Va here, which I think is played into a strength. The reason why you go D.Va here, to give you an idea, is because you basically need to take the map control. Going back to that kind of that horseshoe strategy. So pretty rough first point defenses for both teams.
Good because you have such
No pun
easy
intended. They said
access
28
to
miles
the
of tier
high
1.
ground.
Thank you.
Close to a year.
Appreciate it.
I
So,
can't
rough
wait.
start
So I feel like not
for
only
Nightmare in
do you
this
get
part,
the
but it's the
health
same thing
to be
happened
able
with
to use
Falcons.
the
They had a
soft
pretty
arrow,
rough
but you
start to
also
this map
just
too.
have
So
the ability to
just good
really
strategies
force
by both
Nightmare
teams.
into the position where you can win out that frontline duel at the end of the day. And immediately after they capture that first point, all of that first
But
damage is
Nightmare
gone.
gets to
Team
regroup,
Falcons
play the
make a
choke.
full pivot on
Obviously,
position.
to everybody's
To have the
excitement,
Soldier, Mauga,
Falcons
and
is
Rig
back on
as the
Mauga, which I mean I think we were
backbone
all
of this
hoping
team.
for. So we'll see. Great rush in by Mauga again. The idea there is to distract. Hanbin's very good at that, just going in and really trying to force the pressure. But I think they have managed to get the cooldowns out, so now they're going to have to reset on Falcon's side. So you're going to see a lot of that play by Hanbin, and a lot of it is just to debate the other team. You just go in, you charge in, and you force them to turn on you. And if you don't turn on you, you get a kill. And then as long as the core sticks with you, like you're in a very good spot. That's what we just saw. That's why Admiral went down there, because they just went in aggressively. So you either need to trade out here, which they're trying to do, or go back, spawn, and reset. And they have to reset.
Oh, this is a steamroll. This light at the end of the tunnel for Nightmare looking more like a truck at this point.
You just want pets.
Team
right?
Falcons,
Okay,
they've got Blade, they've got Rally, they've got Ray.
You just want some
If they
pets. I got
these
you.
ultimates early, Rose, it's going to be almost impossible for Nightmare to cap second.
And that's why you see Proper actually already
I mean,
pushing towards
Falcons are not
the
going to give them
spawn
too
of
much
Nightmare,
space here.
just
They're
giving
going to
a
go in
little
pretty
bit of poke
quickly.
damage.
Nightmare doesn't even have an
Sure that
ultimate
when
yet.
Nightmare actually approach,
Full
maybe
support
we're
ultimates
gonna
on
see
like coming
Summer
up. You
have a
just
really
charge in
big
and go
card
Blade.
no gunshot.
And they're probably going to do that.
Yeah,
They got the
here,
card at a
maybe
good
Lethal
spot.
with an overclock
Good
and
job
they
by
catch that and start to close out some
Huffa
ult
taking away that
plays.
map
That's
control,
top
but they're not
row
going to
for
give him too much
Nightmare.
space.
Comfort is
They're
so
just gonna
far
fall
up,
over.
ends up getting bashed, yeah, and Hanbin gets the follow-up stun. Oh, a Rally, a Ray.
They don't even need the blade, which is actually the worst part here.
He's just all on his little lonesome,
There's just,
sadly.
yep.
There is an orbital ray from Apple, though. They really think they can win this fight, but they've got no damage.
I don't know if there's a way for them to, yep. I think they...
Proper ends up pulling
I think the Juno ultimate there was worth it by Nightmare because they needed to get ults out, and they did. It got an extra ult out. Like their economy is not looking the strongest. It's not uncommon to buy a bunch of time on third, so we'll see what happens. But obviously a rough start here for Nightmare so far. They obviously need a win a team fight, and they should, in theory, win this next team fight. They have what they need. Right? I think Fielder's going Zen just to Discord orb the Genji.
In terms of just being able to muscle their way through, and they still have this overclock to play with.
Overclock, Avril misses the bash, Stalker sidesteps it. Zera dead already and a beautiful shot. My word, he weaved it. Fielder back on
I lost another team fight here.
Such an
Wasn't like a
amazing
clean
spot
win
to
for
deal with.
Falcons, but it certainly wasn't like a good amount of trades
Nightmare
for
living their worst
Nightmare.
nightmare.
Lethal went Widow for maybe a pick at the beginning here.
This is 4.5 minutes and
Not
they're on
bad.
the final push.
And look, Nightmare, like Hail Mary play here, putting Lethal on this Widowmaker. Okay, thinking a little
Not
bit
bad
better
at all.
of it as Kappa goes over to the Hazard now, so you're going to play a little bit more of a standard comp, but you can kind of feel the panic set in for Nightmare. Even with the Widowmaker thought.
I mean, they have the blade. The problem is they know Hanbin has out, so like
momentum that is
you got to go for it. You just got to send it, and there it is. Yep. They're all going to shoot the ultimate, but yeah. I think they were trying to play around the ultimate too much out of Hanbin. But, I mean, this is just a...
He just does it again and again and again. There is nothing stopping Proper. There is nothing
It's the Mauga.
Team
I mean,
Falcons.
what else can you say?
3 minutes,
It was a
52
good
seconds.
King's Row
They're
attack,
gonna
but
get free attack.
It goes back to when I was saying I didn't know if they were going to pick King's Row or not because it does fit Falcon's playstyle, right? It's kind of the ground and pound, like aggressive playstyle.
At winning out this map, so Nightmare could only hope for a tie at this point, and it is all smiles for this Falcons squad. They are so happy with how fast they were able to take that King's Row. That attack was not competitive. And I know we were talking a little bit about this Inyana choice at the beginning, but the fact that they went back to it, that's how much confidence you can feel. Because there was no stopping that payload or that push. And so, amazing amount of
And you want to know why? They only have 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Normally, you have 4 minutes here. So having 8 less seconds,
they don't get a chance
I'm just saying.
to have a mistake.
I'm just saying.
They don't get a chance to go back to spawn and change up their plan. They've got to really lock into this Hazard, Ashe, and Genji.
Yep. Clearly going to be the difference maker here.
One of Lethal's best heroes.
In your bucket, buddy?
Also extremely good on the wood.
I'm telling you, the bucket's good now.
Range to medium, hit
Will he return as the bucket boy today?
The ability to stay on the high
He's
ground
wants
is
to be
very
pet right
important
now. He's in a
too,
purry mood.
We'll see how long
He's very rare.
Proper is going
He's not like a very loud purr, but you have moments where I can hear it. I think that's one of them right now.
Okay, he's going back.
They're just going for a quick pick right there. That's it.
Are you sure?
Ooh, this Bastion strategy is interesting. Maybe just like pressure out
drop one silly
the Hazard like wall.
Stalker with the Bastion.
It's a very interesting strategy. See a Bastion.
Nightmare's job very difficult.
I know.
Especially if he can get set up a turret for him.
You're a very good bank.
That is
very
a
good
lot
bank.
of amplified
Surprised you're not
damage.
overstimulated yet.
Oh boy,
Right?
oh boy, oh boy.
Going for a lot of
He's taking the
pets.
perk as well. That turns
Oh,
his
Cuff is
cannons
so low.
into rockets.
Yep.
Cuff has been pushed out already. Zera
Now
is,
the question is,
left
what
alone
map do
in
you
this
go
little
next?
choke
So you
point.
lost the
Stalker
King's
may be
Row,
dead,
which is
but
the
the
map
rest
that
of
you
the
won
team
yesterday, right?
Is gonna follow. And that's it. That's just Falcons taking that one. Right underneath their loses.
There's still a very,
Falcons now on a
you know,
match point
Nightmare can still
against
take this.
Nightmare.
They're not playing bad. It's just it's the pacing of Falcons that's winning right now.
Really locks that one in. Let's go. Let's load into the third map.
You gotta show me.
Team Falcons on match point. A place in the grand finals awaits them. A pretty usual spot for Team Falcons to be in. Nightmare. They're the ones.
I didn't see the. I was talking to Sully.
A reverse sweep from here on out.
But if there is a team that can do it, I believe Nightmare is going to be that bastion of hope.
Nope.
The last team standing of these Western teams. So you've got to think Nightmare could get the job done, and especially knowing that the rest of the world
Here we
is
go.
behind them in this moment. But as we see these teams lock
Orisa.
and those gates open, Nightmare are going to be relying once again on this Ramatra composition. And for Falcons, a rare Orisa pick coming out from Hanbin. We have not seen him do this at all in this tournament.
I was gonna say,
Now it's the time.
might be an unexpected pick.
Pretty good matchup into this round.
I just need to show me what you need, buddy.
But then Lethal's playing the Cassidy.
Can you
too.
show?
Cassidy versus Cassidy here. Stalker also picking that one up.
No, I like streaming.
Right, point unlocked now. Armin slowly moving on. And this is the thing that
This is a
Armin's
slow
doing. He
play.
needs to
Holy
put
crap, you
himself
went to nowhere.
in between
Hi, buddy. What do you
Cuffer
need?
and the rest of his team.
What? Okay.
Orisa
You
very
wanna
well
play?
adept at doing that.
You wanna
And Stalker's
play?
on a really nice angle too. And there's the
Look at your
first
toy.
blood, and of course,
Okay,
it's
let's
in the
go.
hands of Proper.
Tell me what you
He ends
want.
up getting taken down, but from the high ground.
RZB, thanks for the
Stalker
24 months of
is
the
like
Prime
shooting
sub.
fish in a barrel.
Ooh, look at that though. Zera is actually going to equalize this team fight as Hanbin is going to be the next to fall.
dear.
But Fielder as well, I think you just saw time.
All right, good job by Nightmare.
Is capable of in there.
Goodbye, Stalker. Yeah, goodbye, team. Okay, Zera. All right, equalizing that fight there.
He's been back to the bucket once, but then he embarrassed himself by not. He tried jumping up to it and missed by a little bit, and he hasn't been up there since. So
it was a huge staple in that crazy raccoon game, and now it's going to end up being a big difference.
Yeah, that was a really
maker in
good
this
job.
map as
Also,
well.
not even playing Ashe, playing the Cassidy.
Keep control of this push
Lethal has a pulse bomb. Or not Lethal. Zera has a pulse bomb coming up. Kuffa's getting ultimate soon. Falcons are a little bit behind in ultimates, but it hasn't really stopped them from playing well. That's for sure.
Unbelievable sticks. Speaking of which, oh, Fielder a little bit too sharp.
Unfortunate.
Shield turn, hits it, and yeah, pulse bomb denied.
But there's still a lot more that Nightmare can work with here. They're going to be able to utilize this high noon from Lethal, even if it's just going to be to reload. But I'm really looking at the fact that Admiral's going to have this rally in a couple of %.
Yeah, it's a big old dump fight here. For both sides.
Yeah, both sides are going to want to ult this because they want to get around. They want to stop them from getting around the corner. That's not what you want to see. Good shot there on damn. Proper's left clicks have been so strong today. Problem they're running into now is they're giving up a lot of bot time. Well, like, but yeah.
Yeah, but this lead probably isn't going to get
RP Chill, thanks to the 5 months of the prize. Thank you, appreciate it. Proper's played very well today.
Team of 5 with an annihilation, as well as being able to hold on to that rally. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, the fact that Chio has that orbital ray and Proper's going to have this Genji, it's great ways for them to be able to lock down in place, and it looks like they are going to stop.
Yeah, Proper's been playing like, you know what Proper's been playing like? Remember how yesterday Zera was playing extremely well? I feel like Proper's playing like that today. Like that same, just like, absolute domination. You know? That's what it feels like. And when Proper has a day like that, which definitely usually seems to happen around a finals, or like the final day of a tournament, it can be rough. Because like, this is exactly yesterday what we saw out of, this exact play is what we saw yesterday out of Zera. Same exact thing, just winning like every like, team fight and like just it was just unreal. But flip side here is a really good play by Nightmare to kind of flip this. Zera does get picked off there, so that gives a little bit more wiggle room for a play like that, like an ultimate. Yep. So a good decision making there by Falcons, and a good job by Nightmare too. Both teams are probably happy with that. Again though, like this disengage is like basically guaranteeing giving up the checkpoint now because they had a better opportunity. So,
but still,
yeah.
Good percentage on the board here in the first 4 minutes of this map, and another chance to come back in and stop Team Falcons from taking the lead. Kuffa's already getting prepared for what Team Falcons are going to throw at them next, but it's a pretty even fight in the neutral.
Yeah, I mean both teams kind of use like everything right there. Like both teams kind of had to use their ults and make aggressive plays. I mean the real problem right now is that they're just like not able to win a clean fight. Oh, you good, buddy?
I'd say like a 0.1 meter.
Not able to win a clean fight. So that's the problem. No ultimates on both sides here. The Brig ult will be out from Fielder, and I don't think they'll be afraid to just go in with the ultimate here once they have it. Like, don't be surprised to see just a Brig ult aggressive play on the Ramatra. Exactly what happens. Good dynamite there by Lethal, but Proper gets a kill again. The problem that like they're really running into is it's not even that Proper's getting up close kills. Proper's just like one-shotting people.
Nice little spear spin to push them out.
Good Juno ults from both teams.
And they're going to have to respond.
Nice shot by Fielder.
But Gio's going to unleash the same thing as Admiral ends up going down. Proper with the blade still as well. A spear skewers Cuffa, puts him on the barbecue, and they have him for dinner. A high ground.
Damn, and they're going to stagger him out too. Ooh.
Oh, they're just playing with
that's going to be like a 95+ meter right now type of situation.
Like they're going to be starting to barrel
still plenty of time for Nightmare, but
if Nightmare are not careful, this annihilation from Cuffa and this bot are going to have to do work, as Nightmare need to make sure that they can keep themselves in this series. But with a Terrorsaur,
oh yeah, Commentators always do a great job. Absolutely, no disagreements here. All right, gonna have to bob in, and it's gonna suck doing so, but like it needs to happen. Yep. And the reason why it sucks bobbing that is because you know it's probably not gonna win you a team fight, but at least you like force something out of them. I like how Lethal just. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I think Proper's just playing lights out. I just think this is one of these matches where Proper's just playing very well. So it's like
112 meters, 4 minutes to
what do you? I don't know how to react to that. It's just so good. All right, here we go. We got Zera's ultimate coming up.
Zera has been able to put up those numbers.
Good pull.
Genji, you've got to be able to deal with Proper.
You may not even have to ult there with that pull.
He's up on the high ground right now. He's just getting to get taken out by Proper. He just chases him in the neutral. Proper takes down Zera, who was blading, and now Nightmare. They're scattered. Falcons have a rally.
I mean, like that's what I mean right there, chat. Like Proper just basically hits all the left clicks there, gets a bunch of kills. This is exactly what it felt like yesterday for This is probably what it felt like yesterday for CR when Zera was doing the exact same thing. Straight up. The problem is there isn't like it just Remember how at the beginning of the match I said what needs to happen in this match is Nightmare needs to have not only good teamwork, which actually I think the teamwork's been solid, but also have really good individual plays. That's been like the make or break right now. And it's easier said than done. Falcons are a fundamentally sound team, but it really comes down to this. Proper is just playing very well. And like that has been very much the make or break of these games. Proper's winning like duels that you shouldn't win. The team fights that like should definitely not go in. Like it's just been tough.
With 2.5 minutes to go, and they need to get a whole lot more meterage, and Harbin's making it difficult.
So,
but this is a good start for Nightmare to come back in.
Come here.
It was expensive, but you still have the ability to be able to put up those DPS.
I think I'm almost done with my drives.
Nightmare has cemented their history with.
It's your birthday? Heck yeah, have an awesome birthday. Happy birthday.
Also making sure that you don't get caught by the blade, and that's a good pick. Yeah. Zera's gonna be able to shut that down before Proper actually lets it rip.
That's a really good pick by Zera. Okay. This gets interesting now. This could be the checkpoint. Yeah, I think that's the most important part here. Ooh, it isn't though. Falcons do exactly what Falcons do. Right when you think you have a checkpoint and a good play and there's like a numbers advantage, they do that.
Go Leafs go. 3 months already.
Proper chasing Ultraviolet off the map. What, you want to try? You really want to try this? Oh, Proper! No way! He got him!
Oh my! Oh my!
But he actually accomplished what he wanted.
Hawk, thanks for the 3 months of tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. That was a really scuffed situation. I love that.
They are looking at this first checkpoint.
The problem is they need to wait on Ultraviolets. They got to slow down for a second, which sucks because like.
Another blade in the pocket of Zera. The last one fell a little flat, but he has the potential to really.
Yeah, the Farrer ultimate though into like the tank is going to be the problem.
We're now getting down to the wire. 1 minute remaining.
Here it is.
Zera pops the blade. Same with Proper. He's already found Fielder. Proper ends up getting taken down mid-blade by Zera. The apprentice trying to become the master. 1 minute to go.
Miss Alpha, thanks for the 18 months of the tier 1. Thank you, Thank you. Watch over the Farrer play. At the point of that is to angle it. Yep.
Emongg stream at 2 a.m. Nice.
It's the patented Falcon strategy. Hanbin says, hello. It looks like I'm feeding. And they go, okay, I'm going to go for the kill. And then you get killed by the other players. It's a lot of Falcon strategy.
And they're close enough that they could still be factors in this next fight. But with 30 seconds to go, and Team Falcons starting to move that bomb past that midway point, it's going to be a tough fight for Nightmare. They've got to win 3 team fights in a row to get a chance to extend this series. So it's looking grim, but Nightmare could do it. They just got to play smart, and they can't get picked off before they take this 5v5.
Probably looking for a flank with Stalker there.
Juno ultimate like ASAP. I think they're going to play it. Yep. Fielder's actually going to get killed there. That Fielder being aggressive there might give them an extra team fight like ultimate. Yep. So I think right there, if Fielder doesn't go down early, I think they might use 1 extra ultimate. And I think it was an overtime spawn, so there's a chance they can get this bot and checkpoint early, which would be very important, but I think Falcons aren't going to let that happen. They're not. Oh, well, Rista took 6 damage from that. That's pretty cool. Here comes the Brig out and the Juno ultimate. They get Fielder again. The only problem here is I want you to look at Falcons. They're going to spawn up immediately. That's the problem. I just don't see a window where Nightmare wins this unless Zera builds Blade before any of those support ults are used. Also, Destin Isaacs, to give us up. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Zera's going to be the first one to potentially even get it. So it's about to raw kills from Nightmare if they want to keep this dream alive. And to fight it in double support ultimates, you're asking an impossible feat.
Yeah.
He needs heroics. There's a rally, there's a Ray.
They're going to all in Kaffa. Yeah, it's not. That's going to be the game. Yeah, like I said, unless they built a Blade there and had a good timing, like it was just that was what was going to happen. I don't think Nightmare. Here's my take. Okay. I don't see this match and go, oh no, Nightmare's going to get 3-0'd in the loser bracket to CR. Right, I actually don't see that. What I see is that Proper played exactly how Zera did yesterday, and there was just nothing you could do about that when you're getting, like, when you're not able to, like, ever win team fights because Proper's killing 3 people after a team fight should be lost. That's simple. So,
repeat the
You know, Nightmare's going to get that
success
that
that we
rematch
already
with
saw
CR now,
so
and if they
far
can
in
bring
the
it back, I
tournament.
mean, there's still a chance they
And
can
so
come back and
hopefully they
beat
keep their
Falcon.
heads held
But
high as they get prepared
it's
for
really
what is
hard to
going
beat
be
CR once.
another incredible
Can it happen
test
twice in the
spring.
same tournament? And that's going to be the question.
Congratulations, Team Falcons. They
Considering
All right, here we go. We got Winston versus Winston.
pick, you get the first ban as well. They've earned
All right.
themselves this advantage.
Let's see if Nightmare can get their map pick.
Matchup. Nightmare now. You gotta give them a lot of credit. Their play has
Let's see if it
been
can happen.
superb. They've been playing with precision. They haven't made a lot of mistakes. They've been punishing their opponents, punishing Crazy Raccoon yesterday. Now, like you said, they just need a few of their players to pop off.
True.
Farah has been an absolute weapon on this map. Liv's gonna TP him out. Bridge cross, scary, lethal. Takes a conk, now under a bit of spam pressure. Nightmare may have evaded the worst of it, but Shoes on is
All right, I'm
also
ready.
on the field. Got to be so cautious with the amount of spam that can come down. Liv on the Tracer. Looking deadly here.
Alu, thanks for the 11 months to tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. I think finals is first to 4, not first to 5. This is first to 3. Well, rough start for Nightmare on the first point, but that's fine. Can't win every first team fight.
Can he find something, perhaps?
Yeah, the Widow swap makes sense. You're just going for an early kill. Yeah.
Threatening Hiimishie from any kind of over-aggressive forward spam. But Shu on the Ana, seizing the tempo here. I dare say the Kiri has been the far more popular pick in this
lot of spam.
in this composition, but Shu says no. He says,
I mean, Shu's just really good at the Ana.
this one.
And if you're not going to pressure the Ana,
hard pressed to ignore him the way he's been playing this tournament yesterday.
oh, well, that's not what you want to see.
Kuffa in the drink. Nightmare reeling. Crazy Raccoon taking everything. They will be merciless.
Lip
Make
is
no
taking
mistake,
this duel.
Johnny.
Not
They
afraid to
come
take
here
that duel,
for
that's for
competitive
sure.
game. They came here for domination.
Not afraid to take that duel.
They haven't committed a lot of mistakes, and getting first picked right like that, that is stuff that just cannot happen. Zero and Admiral
That's very true.
taking this little off angle here.
Nothing's really happening in this neutral. Kuffa keeps going down very quickly.
Oh, he's dead.
Yep.
Shu, low.
Rough start so far.
Counter kill
I think
here.
Nightmare just needs to settle for a second. I think, like, they just came off that match, and they're just still kind of like,
just
gotta settle.
And Junmin zapping away at the back line.
look how Shu gets the kill there. Yep.
Crazy Raccoon now with ultimates. Shu has
Nano
to
Winston.
fight onto Jun
I mean,
Min.
Nightmare hasn't even built an ult yet. Ultraviolet's now getting ultimate. That's the first ultimate outside of maybe a pulse bomb. At 65%, 60%.
Get value out of it. You don't want to drop it too aggressively because
Think
you'll
about
get
that.
punished, of course. But they're working the bridge here, so I might just go for it.
My eyes are on Shu, man. What can he do with this Nano, with the Ana toolkit? Has the space to work with. They're trying to clear.
I mean, you got to go in with your ults now. I mean, you're going to get ulted on regardless. You got to go in.
Early
Yep.
from Admiral. Under pressure, counter dive from Hiimishie, but finding no kills.
Gonna have to get. You're gonna have to.
Nice
Yeah.
trade with Junmin with the primal. Player advantage for Crazy Raccoon. Nightmare have to fight this one out.
Here's the flip side of this, chat.
Fighting against the world. Surely
Garden is going to be the best map for CR against Nightmare. I think the next two are a little bit more even with a control center and like a night market. But I still think CR's comp is going to be fine. It's just like Garden's a tough one, and especially against a team like CR, Garden can be really difficult. Have you seen perk variety in there? I actually haven't really paid attention to the perks. I know they exist,
The strongest one
but
for Crazy Raccoon here on leading tower.
Farah looks so dominant.
yeah, Garden can be really rough.
I
That was
really
that's
just always
Garden.
favor the team
So.
playing Farah on Garden, especially in this
Yep.
meta. Just so many options for the play. Whether you're diving in, whether you're spamming, knocking people off the map, just puts a lot
ready.
of pressure. And Nightmare, they need to start fighting back. They cannot give up maps in this series. They cannot allow.
The
Crazy
best
Raccoon
case
to build up
for
ahead of steam.
CR
We've
was to
seen
knock at Garden. First,
what
no, like CR
Raccoons
wants
will do
Garden.
when they have the opportunity to
Okay, here we
get
go.
aggressive, to stay aggressive, to put you on your back foot. Nightmare coming out into the mid fight. It's a fresh round, an opportunity for Kuffa on the comfort hazard.
So look to Zero here now. On
And that's also why you're seeing Kuffa on Hazard now, is because Night Market is a much better map for the style of comp that Nightmare wants to play. Garden just sucks for that. Like, you just can't get anything going.
The railgun shots from Lethal. Admiral can't get caught here.
Low, cleaned up.
Oh, no.
Play the off angle. Shu is low at the same time.
It feels like right now, Nightmare is not getting any first picks.
Nothing they can do about him.
It happened in the Falcons match, too. When you're not getting any first picks, it's like it's really tough to win any team fights, obviously. Like,
They're reeling right now.
that's just a numbers game at that point if you're just constantly down one. So,
Jump in over the top on the high ground, ready for that dive.
after this game, chat, I'm going to grab myself a yogurt from downstairs or something. I need something early today.
It's Kuffa, forced it back, jump, forced out.
damage.
Zero finds Hiimishie.
There you go.
That's what they need.
And that's exactly.
Opening kill. Now here's
Yep.
Admirable.
The opening kill right there is exactly what they needed. They haven't had many of those, and they've only been winning off of ultimates today so far. Yesterday, that wasn't the case. So that was Zera opens it up, and there you go. We just were talking about that. So there you go.
Looking forward to the next fight here. Nightmare. Bit of a gift there from Crazy Raccoon.
Yep.
Contest the point there. Capture it. And now you're set up.
Nothing given for Tree, Johnny. Nice shot.
Nice pick by Lethal. They do trade on Lucio's right now, but I think if they pop Kitsune pretty early here, they're going to have to at least force him to back up.
Maybe move forward into this point. It's a scary spot to play Ana. Stepping up is very risky into the
Lip is going for more of like backline pressure control. I would say Kitsune now. Has to be soon. Otherwise, they're going to run out of time.
Crazy Raccoon, step up, force the cap. Nightmare need to make something happen. Nano onto Shu.
Okay, Shu gets the nano off, but they do get the pick.
Immaculate play so far from
yeah, I mean, it's good disengage by Nightmare.
Perfectly, and it seems like they're not going to give the flip.
Very good disengage.
On the point allows Nightmare to continue capturing percentage here. Crazy Raccoon, they can't find the opening. Junbin.
Force out Winston out. I think this is going to be a team fight win for CR. Now it's just about delaying point as long as possible. So, there it is.
Oh,
yep.
And a nice Goomba from Junbin. Stood on Cuff's head there to prevent the wall climb up. That's dirty.
I'll be shooting for quite a while. Quite a while today.
Still, though, Nightmare with a lot of capture percentage there. And Crazy Raccoon, I mean, they were forced to use the Kitsuneras themselves and the Primal. He sang with the Barrage here.
Barrage and the choke is massive.
Admiral can make a huge play here with the sound barrier.
You got to be so careful, though.
Yeah, you got to be aggressive here.
Real here.
The Farah ultimate's the problem. Yeah, there it is. They still get Admiral. I mean, which is good. I mean, Admiral made the right play, not force and beat there. I think they're going to kill Zera here in a second. They pop ultimate here. Actually, this is a great decision by Lethal there. All that actually ended up saving some of the pressure on the team. They flipped the point now. Oh no! I mean, I don't even know if that's like. Dude, he's saying it's so low in the air. Hitting even like one shot is huge because there's no health regen happening. That was a huge stagger by Hiimishie.
Nightmare here actually coming up on double support ultimate themselves in a great position to close out this.
Much better here when they're getting the first pick. It's such a difference. I mean, clearly, but like, you know, some teams won't take advantage of that early pick. Admiral uses beat this time. They counter beat. Lip misses. Oh no, he's saying pulled. Yeah, he's saying pulled in. That was awesome. Yeah, nope. Just reset.
Those were some important ults out of Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, but Nightmare doesn't have much better than that anyway.
And this is the round. This is the map potentially being threatened by Crazy Raccoon.
Yep.
Ultra Wallet with the Kitsune Rush here. But so does Shu and Junbin.
See what happens.
Close to that Primal Rage. Junbin is a real playmaker with this Primal Rage.
He's saying this really well on Farah.
Close out Legion Tower.
Primal is a problem. Zera dueling, but under the watchful eye of that enemy Farah. Such a scary spot to be. Needs a bit of heal.
I mean, the Kitsune is going to be soon, but I think they're starting to lose their timing.
And Lethal, he's found opening picks before, but in this moment, surely it's too much. Rushes.
They flipped the map on him. Oh man! What a play by CR. Yep. CR takes map 1. Now this happened last time, but you know. Nightmare has not been looking like they did yesterday, but I think the tail end or like about halfway through Night Market, it felt like that team finally turned it on, right? Like it's like, okay, next map, I think they'll be fine. CR wins on a control. I mean, control maps are tough to win against very fundamentally sound teams, so now you bring them, I mean, do I dare say bring him to King's Row again? We'll find out. I'll be right back 1 second, chat. Hit that follow button if you haven't. All right, here we go. Now, yesterday was still a close King's Row for a little bit, so we'll see.
The way that Hiimishie has been performing on the Farah has been immaculate. The perks have really taken Farah to a new level, giving her massive consistency across these maps. We've seen a lot of teams ban Farah on King's Row.
Yeah.
The threat that it poses coming over those rooftops, the possibility of playmaking with the barrage, massive. Nightmare still workshopping the comp, thinking about what they're going to play. Have the opportunity to scout the defense and make adaptations that they want to. Zera, though, going
Who are we rooting for?
I mean,
you want the NA team maybe to try to win, but I just want good Overwatch, you know? I like good Overwatch. I just don't want 3-0s, you know?
Has got to put some respect on Zera's Tracer. He may be one of the best in the world right now. Lethal also deadly on that Hanzo, true to his name. And the Brig Juno, I love this for Nightmare. This has been another bellwether comp. Hiimishie's gonna have his work cut out for him. No conventional hit scam to go up against him. But Hanzo, low skybox on this map can be a real problem.
Lethal on the Hanzo. Can he find the picks required to open up this point?
Instant aggression, Crazy Raccoon swarming over the attackers, not giving them even a moment to breathe to look for picks. Taking the fight directly to that Hanzo.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Here's Lip getting healed up, fighting off Zera, cleaning up the Ram in the backline. Lethal, instant swap over to the conventional hit stand.
All right, we're good.
Cassidy will be the way, but Crazy Raccoon.
Eat my yogurt.
Continue to play with this pace, with this level of aggression. Nightmare.
Immediately to the Winston swap.
As well.
I don't really mind this.
They don't want to try to bunker through it. I think that's a wise
I mean,
call.
I agree, because you can't really bunker through the first point here. If you want to go into that in the second and third, it makes sense. But don't waste your time on the bunker comp and trying to make it work right there when you can just like try to make this work, right? Zera with a huge pick.
On Shu, carry for carry.
Zera isn't afraid to take that 1v1 against Lip either, because like Lip needs to go back to help peel, so as I say that, they did, because they do trade on their supports. Yep. They're going to get a tick, but I mean, Ultraviolet's going to be in a unique spot from spawn, too. Yep. Ultraviolet's kind of stuck there. So you need to pressure out Lip early, or...
Very close. Needs to get a connection into the backline. Recalling away for now. Low blinks, low cooldowns. Kuffa, though, also forced out of the fight. Both teams licking their wounds.
Kuffa is one shot.
Both tanks under immense pressure, dropping extremely low.
And there you go. Lethal with a huge pick. Farrell time, though.
And Kuffa, very low pressure. He's on his bubble. Needs the carry.
Oh, what a play.
Gets the clean
nice job.
Does jump in, want to primal this.
He's going to primal it. Yep.
Kitsune from Shu. He gets his one. He says, I'm going to rip this.
I think that's worth it, yep.
They're all in now. They have to make this hold.
Kuffa doesn't even have close to ult either, so this is like a very unique spot. Ultraviolet doesn't want to ult this, but I think it's okay to win this fight. Wow, what a retake. I mean, it's just good Overwatch. They're just clutching it out. Kuffa's gonna, yep.
And every ult is being dumped here from Nightmare. Ray and High Noon. No kills.
Oh no. I feel like they're overcommitting to a team fight that, I don't know, maybe I'm seeing it differently. Junbin could get good stick by Zera. That.
Over the line though, with no take, with Liv onto Admirable still. Keeping this in contention for Raccoon. They have no business on this point, and yet 3 minutes are already off the clock, Johnny.
I mean, I think there's gonna be more time off the clock here, unless actually, if Kuffa gets a good Winston ult. Good shot there. Good job by Kuffa.
Kuffa looking for more. Surely, finally, this should be enough. Zera trying to zone.
It's not enough now. Ultraviolet goes down.
This is not supposed to happen, Johnny. Balls back in. No ult up for Nightmare. Do they have to finish? 99.5%. You cannot step up this point for Crazy Raccoon.
Oh my.
Into this 1v1. Stabilizing Junbin onto the wrecking ball. Holding the point for now. He's saying.
Good job by Zera.
We need kills. We need opportunities. Zera, is he going to be the hero?
Good peel.
No shoot. Immediately bailing out his fellow support. Lethal, though, finds Junbin.
Lethal's in a good spot, too. Drop the Winston down right now. Force the Tracer to point. How do they have Kitsune again? Nice shot by Lethal. That was clutch. That is a point winner. Ooh. Dude, what a play.
This is a team.
Like Nightmare felt like they should have had that point 10 times.
They're playing like it's a rank game. They're playing like it's a scrim. They're just running it down on you, Nightmare.
Yep, exactly. They're not giving you any room to do anything. And I think this is what they were getting punished for yesterday with CR. Today, not so much. So, yep.
Play by both teams. So patient, so comfortable.
We'll see.
We see some teams prefer to play aggressive, initiate, commit, but both teams here, they're trading back and forth.
Big channel in the High Noon. Gentleman's going to be forced away from this. Bubble broken.
Still a good High Noon. Just map control.
Kitsune
time, and they know they have a Kitsune time in here. It's just the question is, can they apply it? It Lip's out. Lip has the blinks. Oh no. Make it 4. There, should just reset.
Surely no escape for him.
Maybe get a kill, but they're actually staggering the Tracer, yeah. Oh.
they are being surrounded, punished from all sides. The Pharah Tracer, a signature style for Crazy Raccoon.
Yep.
Paying dividends. Nightmare under massive pressure, and they are struggling.
I mean, look at this.
And not bad enough that Hiimishie gets this 4K barrage, but
What a play.
The Kitsune rush. Now over to the Juno.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sierra doesn't really have much here. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if Nightmare ends up making a swap to a brawl-based comp if this next team fight doesn't go well. Like, just take it to the last possible second, and then, like...
Is immense. Chorong has that orbital ray. Kuffa with the primal could be the hero. Maybe it'll be
He's saying he's gonna be aggressive now.
But staying alive itself is a tall task. Torpedoes there over the top. He's saying
no ultimates here.
Now pressure on Cart, but no real threat to win the fight here. Once again,
yeah,
Nightmare
Tracer's gonna be dead again.
Back to the spawn.
Wait, Zera picks up a kill last second on Pharah. That was super important because they were getting spammed out and didn't have to worry about that. Now they only have to worry about Lip on the flank.
Crazy Raccoon at their best.
Is it Carnet? Thanks for the 5 months of the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dallas and the Esports World Cup, second place at the OWCS World Finals, and now here on Championship Sunday.
I'm ready to see.
They want to make it happen once more. Up here against Nightmare.
Jumin just wait on ult.
Nightmare fighting for their lives here on Kings Row.
Jumin, master in the clutch, has been.
I mean, Jumin's just literally just delaying time to be able to do the same play. Kuffa got a few of them low. Jumin's gonna ult on point now. There it is. This is where like they need to survive this. Lethal might fall over here. I can't tell. I'm gonna be real with you, I can't tell.
Refusing to lose, the Raccoons make the hold on second point.
Wow.
It's only Zera, but he's not long for this world. And now
I mean, what else do you say? I mean, like, listen. At a certain point, I don't even know where to go with that. When I just what a play. That's all I got. Like, this is a completely different CR team than we saw yesterday. It's like when they lost that match, they were like, we are not doing that again. We are not.
You're being hit from all sides. Nightmare trying to play this hit scan, trying to keep Lethal alive, trying to get him into the engagements. But the pressure seems to be getting to them. I mean, they're really on the defense. And Crazy Raccoon is taking liberties in this match.
The Genji ban has really set Nightmare back here. Hiimishie playing the Pharah to perfection, and Zero just can't match that playmaking on the Tracer. Find a couple of picks here and there, but can't deal with Hiimishie in the sky, and cashes in with 2 4K barrages there on the defense.
Nightmare need a very big hold
I'm ready.
on first point. The threat of picks is massive. Zera gonna trust in the Pharah here, gonna take a risk, play for this heavy spam damage. Crazy Raccoon could be a difficult walk up for them, could be a difficult point to capture. But with the way Lip and Hiimishie are playing, when these ultimates come online,
it's time.
It is a scary prospect. Curious to see what Raccoon go with. They're going to go with just some scouting heroes for now.
It is time.
Seeing what the opponents bring to the defense.
Did you like my new schedule? This ain't a new. Okay, first of all, this ain't a new schedule.
This looks like a team.
I want to point that out. This is a. I'm watching matches during the weekend schedule. All right.
The classic hazard counter. Zero on the far though. Lethal.
That's it.
These DPS are
Tomorrow's a day off, and I'm back at 7 a.m. starts.
Risky call for Crazy Raccoon, and Kuffa has played against this before.
CR here go for a big rotate.
I mean, this is a gambit, Johnny. This comp has been good in the past. Crazy Raccoon were one of the teams to popularize
Sim Torb. I wasn't expecting that, but I like the idea, but I think Nightmare with the spam, exactly. The spam and like a good like disruption shot. I don't know. This is. I was gonna say, it seems like they're kind of a little bit playing into what they're. Yeah.
Zera trades one, but now Kuffa surrounded, hit from all sides. Ultraviolet 1 HP.
It's all hindsight, but what I think happened there is I think they really tried to force the engage on him rather than like letting the spam happen from Pharah and then eventually go in and make a play. I mean, they're gonna touch point, but it's gonna be a tough.
Very scary spot. Somebody has to come in for the touch.
Right.
Booped away. Can't get the connection. Now Ultraviolet hacked, finished off by Shu again.
That. Yep.
And Nightmare.
No, I think they try to force. They try to force in there. Like, just go into the team. They should have just, like, spammed him out and then went in when the time was right. I get it, but, like, I think that they had a little bit more time. It's easier said than done, though. Honestly, I probably do the same thing. It makes sense to be aggressive. It's just CR's playing for it.
Coming out there from Crazy Raccoon, and this is something that Nightmare haven't practiced against. Rarely in scrims you get the opportunity to practice the rotations you have to make against an Orisa composition like this, and now Crazy Raccoon, with that quick offensive attack on the first point, they bought themselves 5 minutes here to cap out on the second point. Nightmare. It's going to be a momentous task here.
This is a team that's not
Why is Ana not in pro comms? Ana's banned for this game. That's why. Because CR's Shu is so good on Ana, they just were like, yeah, we ain't dealing with that. We ain't dealing with that.
The card barreling toward that golden box victory. Here it's Orisa onto the back line. Zero finds one. Hasn't deployed the barrage yet. Shu is low as well. There's an opportunity for Nightmare to make something happen. But Zero is down. Shu defeats him in battle. Lethal finds one. Captain contested. Admiral low shield.
I mean, I just think that's it. You just hold the ult. Yep. It goes through the shield.
Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah.
Maybe getting this over the line. Kuffa's back though.
I mean,
Overclock pop.
Overclock can be helpful.
Wants to reset the attackers. Just gonna force them off the angles. But man, this map.
This ultimate was rough. It's not. By the way, and it wasn't even a bad ult. It's just like it was a great disengage. Zera gets 2.
Barrage opportunity, but the wall on point. So difficult to fight into Sim in this.
Damn.
And Lip.
I mean,
cleans it up on the Symmetra. What can't this guy do?
What else can you say? CR came in with different strategies. They came in with a different approach. They're playing with like a different form of aggression. I mean, the only way that like Nightmare brings this back is they have to play even more aggressive, but like at the right time. For example, I think they had more time to spam out the Torb Sim with their Farrakhan. That's an example. Being aggressive's fine, but making the aggression have it make sense. And again, just really good individual plays. Like yesterday, it was Zera just popping off, making individual plays. Today, it feels like it's Hiimishie is just going in and getting 4 kills at a time, you know? So.
Matchup perspective, the question is, can they really deliver? Can they turn that into a map win? Building some kind of momentum in the series, and Shu is hovering in Ana.
Did you ready for the sweep?
I feel like the Brig is a way better hero,
my eyes itchy.
but this is Shu. All bets are
no
off.
Sweep. No sweep. We want
prospect.
a Nightmare win here for more Overwatch and good Overwatch, okay? That's what we want. That's what we're going to hopefully get, okay? We're going to hope for the best.
It's not about the high ground. This guy's a demon. Sent to nade your backline.
Look, I'll say it again, Jake. Final boss aura.
Yes.
Here we go. I'm ready.
You load in against Shu yesterday. Once again, why is the boss music playing? Here it comes. Nightmare coming out of spawn. Lethal looking for an opportunity on the Widow. He's has elected to the Mei. It's a bit of an odd comp for Crazy.
I'm gonna go to bed earlier. I mean, I'm not going to bed.
Nightmare are all
so like even if it was a sweep across the board, I wouldn't be going to bed anyway. So I just woke up a couple hours ago. Now, did I get the best sleep? Nope. But I'm not going back to bed. That'll help out my schedule even more. Okay. Good map control so far, but I mean, most teams opt to just not play that whole part of the section, right? A lot of teams are comfortable with this one. Obviously, you're seeing the Mei comp, which you kind of expected from Nightmare, but no. Nightmare's going a little bit different here. Kuffa gets a huge pick on Ana right away. Obviously, with CR's comp, they still have some decent healing with Juno, but really good start. They can start taking a little bit of map control now. They cannot give up a free pick. That's going to be the huge play here. You cannot give up a free pick to what they're doing. But a really good job getting cooldowns out here by Kuffa. Now you want to start to really pressure Ramatra as much as you can. Yep. Good Vortex again. Hiimishie still gets a pick, though. Wow. This is what I mean. It's just like Hiimishie's about to have Mael already, and it's just, what do you do in this situation? You have a 5v4, they play so defensive, and then just win the team fight. Again, it's just like, what in the world?
Stall out these fights as long as possible to open fight win conditions with the biotic grenade, or potentially the Mei Ice Wall. Nightmare, they get the first pick there onto Shu, but aren't able to capitalize on that. A lot of defensive positioning for Raccoon. They can mitigate a lot of damage. Ramatra, of course, one of the more defensive brawl tanks in the game. So Nightmare, they need to find that pick once more, but then capitalize on it and finish out the fight.
I mean, there's a Mei ult here, though. I think they're going to pop Juno ultimate. My only concern is that they're going to get Mei ulted out defensively, so they might be waiting for it. I like this. I actually like them starting off with the OC, because this is going to force ultimates out early, yes. Really good play. Was the disengage good, though? It was. Yep. But they get a trade. Too many trades right now. I don't know where this is going to go. They have no supports. It should probably go in favor of CR, yep. Unless Kappa has the sickest ult, which actually, I don't think so. Yeah.
Trade that back. Ult goes 1-for-1, so not the worst economy trade, but
yeah, the trade was fine. CR just popped every ultimate to do that.
Feels impossible. They did dump all 5 ultimates to make that happen. Nightmare closing on Bradley.
I mean, CR's just playing the odds. They've we've won pretty much every team fight. They have no problem ult dumping until Nightmare can prove that they're winning in these neutral fights too. And this isn't even a neutral fight. This is Blade and Brig ult. And you know they're going to be aggro, so.
Oh, it's a biotic grenade onto Zero and Admiral.
He can't full commit. Shu misses the sleep. Ultraviolet finds Hiimishie.
Very good decision by Zera there. Not overcommitting to get the kills and then getting a kill on Ana. But it's still like 3v2. They have to go for the kills. It has to be like now. Max has enough. Max already has enough time.
He
just won't die.
Yep.
He just won't go down.
I mean, Ramatra block lasts for a long time.
He's staying on the sim. Force back fast.
They're gonna have to brawl the Ramatra with Brig ult and hope for the best. Shoot, as long as Shu doesn't hit an Ana grenade though, that's gonna be the #1 thing.
Except for Admiral's rally, but Shu's nade feels like an ultimate. Has been deployed already. Admiral rally on the point. This is a difficult spot for Max now, under pressure.
Lethal's close for an ult.
Being attacked, being bashed, being threatened.
Oh, Zera with a good dash out. That was close.
Just can't get it over the line. Come on. Somebody's got to find something. Players low for Raccoon.
I mean, look at the HP. It's actually ridiculous. Oh.
No way, Johnny. Crazy Raccoon are holding. It's a nightmare for the North Americans. And they fall at the first hurdle.
CR's just playing too good. There's just... Listen, is it still holdable for Nightmare? Of course, because this is a hard map. But, I mean, CR's just playing a different level. I mean, even when they're down 1, they're not even phased by it. They're like, oh, we're down 1? This is how we want to play, right?
Having a feel
So, yep.
Landing aggressive biotic grenades that they can capitalize on, but also
Damn.
keeping Max alive on the Ramatra. And Nightmare, they just couldn't capitalize on the openings they did find. They're hard to come by at this level of play.
What a play.
There were a couple of times there you have to ask yourself, what could they have done better to close out those fights and get the cap?
Just incredible endurance. Nothing less than perfection required from Nightmare to defend, to make the full hold. Crazy Raccoon can set up themselves perfectly. They're going to have so many opportunities. Nightmare need heroics right now. Admiral is going to go over to the Ana, try to replicate.
Let's see what happens.
Was able to do on that defense.
I mean, listen. This map is full holdable. I am concerned that they're not running the May comp because I think that would buy you a little bit more wiggle room just for survivability, kind of like what CR had for a while there. At the same time, you play to your strengths, and that's what they're going with. So, did Admiral on Ana? I think this is one of those niche situations where playing far back is going to be the strategy, so why not? Right?
Nightmare. Everything is so stacked against them.
Oh, lethal! Johnny, it hurts. You need to know.
Everything is just. Oh no! And now they're committing to the dying cart strat. But the problem is they got no. Actually, I say the problem is they get 2 kills. They have to back away, but like that was a good kind of remove the pressure off of that initial pick, right? So good sleep.
Force back.
Yep.
Using form, but I mean, Cart is rolling forward. You're totally happy with this. In the end, I think those counter kills from Nightmare are going to get them the opportunity to defend this corner.
Exactly. That was the big thing.
That keeps them in this map. That makes it possible. But it's not going to be easy. They need yet more.
Here's the speed ring.
Zera now being attacked from the flank, being pressured.
CR is playing with aggression.
Crazy Raccoon trying to clean up that flank. Compass left as well. Force back. Shu is hitting everything today.
Okay.
Full cooldowns, though.
Ooh, that was a good vortex. I don't know how that actually made it through the shield. That timing was perfect.
Incredibly well with the lethal again.
That's it.
Headshot. And everything's falling apart. Zera, the hero.
Zera with a kill. Zera with both supports.
Wait a minute. 3v3.
Surely this is too much for him. Gonna get the bait. Into the back.
I mean, even then, I think that was the correct play.
Those kills.
I was gonna say, I think that's the correct play because they don't have any supports.
The non-boost here. Kappa's alive as well.
Yeah, that was a Zera just gave them more opportunity.
They're going to play it slow here and regroup here.
I mean, we got a Nano Blade coming up.
That the moment required kills both supports. Denies Crazy Raccoon the easy finish. It's gonna be a fight. Zera has Blade. Such a scary spot to go aggressive though.
Nano Blade here.
Lip finds one again. Undeniable. Zera
Nano Blade.
Gets the Nano.
Needs to make a play.
Come out. Here. Connection to the back line. Looks for more. Sleep threat. Cocked away. He can't quite get there. He's saying the savior. No. The barrage over the top. Shoestack.
I mean, what a play by Hiimishie.
Was born to play in the grand finals. Here's Lip now.
Kuffa gets the kills. Max trades.
The guard, Johnny. Kuffa just barely makes it back in time. Annihilation from Max. Kuffa.
That's it. GG's.
But it's the last
Unless Ultraviolet gets there.
from all sides, and Crazy Raccoon are going to one more grand finals.
I mean, Farah saved that. What a play by that play was unreal.
What a showing from them in this tournament.
Now, chat.
But Crazy Raccoon,
Listen, credit the Nightmare.
then the best.
They played a good tournament. But CR just played it. I felt like
They make the
it's kind of unfortunate for Nightmare because I think they got the best versions of CR and Falcons we've seen in a bit today.
Unbelievable. What
You're
a
getting the proper
terrifying
playing at the next
foe
level.
to face at this moment
You're
in
getting
the tournament.
Hiimishie playing at that level that like is expected.
Crazy Raccoon here.
It's just one of those things where it's like
Falcon is just awoken from a slumber.
they just stepped it up
Forced away
today.
by Nightmare in
But
the
we're going to see something that we haven't seen in a long time. CR versus Falcons final.
Once again.
That's why I do think
Okay,
this is
listen.
such a compelling game
The
because
grand
I
finals,
don't
chat. We need to
think that
lock in,
either
all
of
right?
these, but mostly Falcons are the
I'm
same
ready.
roster as what we saw
It is
in
time.
that OWCS stage
Grand
in
finals.
Asia. Once more,
Team
folks.
Falcons versus CR.
It's gonna be
First to
brilliant.
4.
Team Falcons and Crazy
Hoping
Raccoon,
for
a
7
matchup
maps
we've
of this.
seen
You know what?
play
Heck it,
time
let's make it 8
and
maps.
time
Let's get a draw on
We're
there.
heading over to
All right?
Oasis to kick off this first to
Do
4
whatever you want
series.
if you want to do that. That's up to you. Here we go.
Obviously a lot of time for teams to make changes before those spawn doors open. Also to point out, we talked about how Falcons using that Orisa ban to potentially protect like a Maga. On the other side, you did have the Genji get banned down.
I'm
there.
ready.
Crazy
And
Raccoon.
it's paused.
The Genji, a very strong hero.
Literally paused right away.
All right,
There's
full
just
stop,
no
folks.
way.
Little pause called here.
We got the crowd is going,
I like
the
that.
music was going. Hey,
Consider
let's
that
slow this down a
rehearsal.
little bit. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's getting warmed up. I'm certain that this crowd is going to be extremely loud, extremely involved.
That
in
was
this.
quick.
And let's,
Well-
taking a look back, Falcons have definitely been tested, been pressured, right?
Yep.
I would say the team that has done that to the greatest degree, because these two teams have kind of dodged each other, right, is that once again roster.
Yes.
A really close game. And I'm sure the Falcons coming out of that are incensed that it was so close, but there are a lot of factors at play there. Home crowd, an incredibly aggressive dive-based team that is potentially still the antithesis to the way that Falcons want to play.
Got
Crazy
memed?
Raccoon
I know.
can be that team.
Is this the first
The raw
pause this
pace that
weekend?
they brought their
We've had a
way to
few
lower
at the
bracket with
beginning.
that
Day
incredible game
one.
from Shu. They
Day
proved
one
that
of
it
these
takes
matches was
to top
ridiculous.
these
It was like
fights.
Falcons
it was like an
also
hour
lost
between each
to,
map.
Asia, right, in the first
Okay?
round. So
It was an hour between
it's
each
not
map.
like
It wasn't
they
even an
kind
hour
of
between
just
each
rolled
like
through everybody with
you know,
relative
each
ease,
match. It was
right?
just yeah. So, but
Where Crazy Raccoon, you do have that slip up to Nightmare. Nightmare actually put together a very strong event overall. But since that slip up, right, they rolled through.
They're good to go.
They rolled through.
Everybody's ready to play, it
They
looks
rolled
like.
through Nightmare in a bit of a rematch there. And now they find themselves way back here into that grand final after a run back in the lower bracket.
It looks like Sparkle was the coach that called this brief pause here, and he seems to be indicating that
yep.
all is well. Harmon, of course, with his signature tilted screen, trying to see into the 21st dimension, I think.
I mean, I can't be comfortable.
Our pauses like timeouts. I mean,
Some players
most
like
of the
those
time they're
strange
actually
setups where you have
technical.
tilted keyboards and stuff
Most
like
of the time
that.
they're
It's
technical
because of
difficulties. I
base
mean,
restrictions
there's
where
very
they
rare
normally play.
occasions. I don't even know the
I'm not so
the
sure
pause
how
rules
tilted
nowadays.
mode sort of plays into
But,
that.
yeah.
I'm sure this has been explored and maybe even been explained, but it is an odd. It's like he's trying to position the kill
All right,
as
it's
far
time.
away from him as possible, so he doesn't tunnel in on it. I'm not sure what the
We've
reason
had
is,
some
but
odd
it's,
ones in Overwatch. Throwback to Jaehong used to put his on a box, right? He used to have his mouse pad on a box when he played. You pine with the glass mouse pad early on. So,
Hey, glass mouse pads
we've
are
had
good.
some
Okay, I'm just saying.
interesting in the history of Overwatch esports.
we had a
It's,
whole saga about a gaming chair, I want to say, in Stockholm with Hanbin or something like that. I don't know. I believe we delved into the very deep annals of ergonomics and lumbar support on that occasion.
The crowd was so ready. You could hear the crowd ready to pop off. The music, everybody getting excited. The awesome opening ceremony, and then Sparkle's got to call that pause right at the rip. Does it look like potentially we're going to get actually a Maga head-to-head?
That is... interesting,
ready.
I guess, that Crazy Raccoon would opt into that, because if you go back to the last time these two teams played, we had a control map. It wasn't OWCS, but
are these new drops compared to yesterday? They are. Yes. This is a really long pause. All right, headsets off again. Headsets off again. I'm not doing it. Since when is Sparkle a coach? I think this recent season, or like maybe last year.
Falcons got knocked down in a 4-0. You know what I mean? Like, these two teams are always, every time we run it back, and this is good news for fans, I think, of these two teams, and fans of the game, it's always different. There's always something.
I wonder what the technical issue is.
Meta's changed somewhat now, but I think,
I mean, they're saying they're good.
I know that
was like 3 thumbs up, so I think we're getting ready to go soon.
That's good. 3 thumbs up is a great sign, but Hiimishie has had to, I think he's had to adapt. The kind of, we're talking about a literal champion.
Maybe.
Times in the past, of course, even
maybe not.
Last year, but has had to sort of say, we don't need 2 tanks. We shouldn't need 2 tanks. I think the consensus coming into a lot of roster building this year was that you wanted to build with flexibility in the forefront of your mind. And
okay, we good?
That's something the Crazy Raccoon can
nope.
offer.
Okay, well, this is great. Wait, they got rid of the graphic. Does that mean it's starting?
And I'm curious.
One second.
Crazy Raccoon try and play that Maga in the head-to-head early on, and I think it would be such a confidence blow if they were to take the head-to-head in the Maga and Crazy Raccoon comes out on top. And then for
I don't think they're going to ship that at all event anytime soon. I think it'll be 5v5 still.
Have many great options. And
they'd have to change the core game mode first if they're going to do that.
Right. I mean, and we're looking at OWCS, right? It's not unreasonable to expect that, but here we go, folks. Once more, pen to paper.
All right, here we go. The grand finals are live. All right.
Competitive Overwatch for the
I'm ready.
2 years. It's Crazy Raccoon and Team Falcons renewing it right here. In a best of 7.
And we got Mauga versus Mauga. What a dream. What a dream. I was just hoping that if the grand finals don't start with Mauga versus Mauga, I'm going to be pissed.
We'll get a Mauga head-to-head.
Yep.
I think Mauga's kind of the hero you have to play on this map, especially on this.
This is everybody's dream.
There aren't that many options. You can't exactly play that Winston, go up to the high ground, trying to dive.
I mean, they're just setting up, taking high ground control. I mean, you don't necessarily need that high ground control right away from the other team because you're going more spam heavy. It's going to come down to how much damage these Pharahs output. Really good dive by Hanbin. And as we've seen before, Team Falcons strive in the mirror here, and that's probably why they picked OWCS, because they knew that it would be forced into a Mauga comp. Kind of a smart play. Kind of a smart play.
And with Falcons getting first map pick, you go to a map like OWCS to get this style of play, right? You also end up protecting the Mauga, and then the Genji ban on the other side probably.
And Vent, thanks for the 45 months with the tier 3. Thank you, Vent. I appreciate it.
All right,
long time.
Forced to drop the low
Thank you,
now.
and a tier 3 at that.
Starting to encroach and respects the Mauga, so gives him a little bit of
space. And they ban Orisa. So yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of. If you look at it, that was basically by design. Is they knew that the hero selection on this map could be rough. I mean, who else do you play with? It was a good call out on that. It's you just got to be forced into Mauga versus Mauga and just understand that's what you're going to play against the first time. But the rest of the way, they should be in a better spot. But a really good job by CR to actually start off with some early picks here. So I think they should be able to grind this out. I mean, obviously, Hanbin is still alive on point, but I think Stalker will probably fall over there, or at least get out. Survives with 69 HP, which is nice. But obviously not losing the team fight can be rough. So, I mean, even when they did all the nerfs with Mauga, it wasn't going to make Mauga, unplayable, right? It was going to make Mauga just more at par with other tanks, right? The truth is that I think that CR could win against even. I think CR could beat Falcons even if Falcons run Mauga every single match. I don't think we're in the spot right now where Mauga is a must win, right? I think this has happened to be the map where, and obviously a great team fight here for CR. I think this is just one of those situations where, it's the map. I don't think they'll play much Mauga versus Mauga on them. But really good job by CR right there.
With the orbital ray rolling on top of him, the Kitsune rush as well, and that allows Junbin to put down so much damage. He finds 2. That results
Team Falcons do have an ult. They got to wait on their next cardiac or not cardiac overdrive, the next charge in for this, but I think they're going to go for an ult play with Proper. Could try to lead off with Farrell, but I think you're better off just literally going in there with, they got cleanse out, right? Ooh, but he's saying with another early pick, Hanbin does trade out and they get Shu. Really good ult by Hanbin. Really good ultimate right there.
Great use of it. Barrage here for Proper will be more than enough damage to deal with the bulky body of the Malga, and Choron can only float around. This is tit for tat stuff, but Crazy Raccoon get to 77.
Yeah, it's the case right.
Did I go on a bike ride again today? I went on a bike ride the other day and I got 3 cramps on my way back from my house. Because we biked to the house. Okay, here we go. Lip has Sojourn ultimate, so they're going to be really aggro with this. It just depends. It's a difference of philosophy. I want to see what Junmin does here. Does he go in? Like, Hanbin loves to just charge in and play in a corner, but I feel like Junmin likes to play more of like the... Junmin likes to play more of like the play together, like stack style. Nice counter charge there, because that's going to slow down the ult. Huge pick on the Mauga. I mean, that's and a flip point, a Mauga pick and a flip point. That's rough. I should drink more waters. I'll probably grab a water after this downstairs. I'll grab one of the seltzers.
Well, the overclock buys so much space, right? It forces Falcons all the way back, and then when Falcons tries to rush back out onto the point.
But yeah, I mean, I drank a ton of water. I just, it was something. I had at one point I had double, calf cramp, or not calf cramps, like quad cramps at the same time. I had to sit there and just wait. Nice shot by Lip, and after a little bit of a slower start, I mean, not really a slow start, but after a lost team fight, it looks like they're going to be able to clutch it out and win the first part of this. And keep in mind, this is playing into more of what Team Falcons want to play, and CR just runs right through that first round. So, yep.
And that's brutal to lose Chio early on there, right? That's your orbital ray, so all you have to work with there is your Kitsune rush.
How did I get 3 cramps right on the bike? It's very hilly, so a lot of uphill stuff, and I think I just went too hard trying to go up hills.
From that Kitsune rush, you never actually get Chio back in the fight to get that orbital ray off and get value out of it. Brutal way to lose there for Falcons.
Certainly felt like Falcons were playing catch-up. They make that pivot to the Juno.
Falcons lost to AQ at the beginning.
Never have a chance to make
they're just, figuring out what they want to do in between rounds here.
It's clear the Crazy Raccoon really wanted to, just push in and make use of that huge numbers advantage when they had that Juno ult.
This is what's bad for
Falcons. Hill issue? I guess
true. This is the style, except with maybe Proper on the Genji, right? That has been able to kind of carry them through the event thus far. And Crazy Raccoon's like, all right, bet we'll just match
I'm not getting an electric bike yet.
Think we can play it better, which
I know some people have them.
Able to do so. Raised a lot of question about Falcons for the rest of the series.
Sign, it's already emerging.
Nothing really happening. Pretty slow start here, but their plan was foiled by their own strategy. Went to the corner, sat there, debated, got the kill, and CR starts off strong.
A very clean opening here for the Raccoons.
Yep.
Team Falcons now, they're pivoting over to the Diva.
And we'll see. I know this is if they're able to kind of keep that.
Yeah, I mean, next time I do my bike ride, I'll probably prepare a little bit better. Kind of did it as an impromptu, like, I didn't want to fall asleep because I got up early that day, and it was good. I mean, the bike ride was fine. I made it back. Just I had to get through a couple cramps on the way there. I had the 2 quad cramps at the same time, then I had a Charlie horse a little bit after that.
Not just between the Sojourn and Fire, but
then after that, it was good. Took me a little bit. And how about this, by the way? Hanbin swaps off to Diva after they want to keep forcing Mauga. Good job by Hiimishie getting out and surviving that.
I like that he sticks around, though. Comes back for more. Lip obviously playing in that side room.
Like, that's the interesting part here is, like, I don't even think this is necessarily a comp that CR wants to play, but, like, they were forced into it with the Oasis pick. So, really, really good Kitsune. Gonna get a counter Kitsune here if Junbin survives. There it is. Proper gets a kill, but, again, traded on. Stalker with a kill right away, though, on Choron, so that's pretty huge. And Hanbin kills the Pharah. Lip does go in and get a kill. Does Lip get 2? Piriko was 1. Oh, man. Nice try there. Okay.
They just try and circumvent that Mauga, right? They end up using the Kitsune rush first, and Crazy Raccoon does a nice job trying to kite some of it, and they choose Kitsune rush down a little bit later, but still enough players weak there.
All right, not bad.
To finish them off, get control of that point. Like, are you going to be able to hold it for long, right? Because Crazy Raccoon, you imagine Junbin, even if you just catch the Diva with that...
I mean, just get anybody in it, or you can go to point. I mean, you don't have to worry about the Pharah ultimate anymore, right? So, like, that'd be your #1 problem with the ult. Lip goes in aggressively. Stalker counters it, though. Like, there's the cage. The cage fell over. Yeah, the cage was out. Remember how I said that I think more people be shooting the cage now? Or should be? That was a good moment to show that.
Try and heal back up, get in position. Fielder looking to hit some backliners here, but it's Hiimishie knows he's going to be called on to be the lion's share of the damage, and Junbin now
Wow.
come back his way. So slippery, so hard to
Yeah, I think it's like 1200 HP now. It's very killable. It's very killable.
Yeah, the D.Va's a composition that you necessarily wouldn't want to play like a Winston into either, right? So feels like this Emongg.
Actually, Winston is totally fine against that.
Against D.Va. Over time.
Winston's really good
Just
against
feels
D.Va.
like Crazy Raccoon just needs to get a fight that kind of works
Like,
in their favor, but
I'm
this
telling
one
you.
might not be it, Mitch, because Fielder's going to get close to this Kitsune rush.
CR has nothing ult-wise. This is just a neutral fight for both teams until Fielder gets Kitsune.
77 and counting. Stalker playing his life as Fielder's building towards another Kitsune rush that'll be up much earlier than Shoes. They're happy to bide their time here. They're still accruing.
They're kind of spamming out. Lip is low. Oh, nice try. They're all getting low, but not low enough. They're going to Kitsune and Junmin's one. Pretty much had to charge in, but I mean, he's saying gets two, but I don't think can they touch? Lip gets a kill. Hanman's on point, 2v2, but I think they're going to clutch it. See, this is good. This is good.
And it really feels like only someone like Hanbin could get away with this D.Va play.
And I love the decision there.
They're going on to what? Is it, I think it's also called Garden on this map, which is weird because there's a Garden on Lijiang also.
Crazy Raccoon just
you know?
form up to their own Kitsune rush. They get aggressive. They use theirs right around the corner. And Junbin doesn't really have a great spot to go. You actually see Hanbin get in between the supports in the tank. It kind of forces Junbin to go towards that point. Go with a slam. He tries to use a cardiac overdrive as well to be able to kind of heal himself up, drop down to that mega health pack, but he's not able to live.
Hanbin sees his team's poke, core, take the enemy Malga quite low. So he uses their defense matrix to soak up a lot of the healing that's naturally
it's just weird because Gardens is like close to Lijiang.
No healing outside of
That's what I'm saying, so it's just like...
He's over to the Winston now as we head to City Center.
Winston obviously...
You hope to see some Roadhog here? There's actually... I don't even know if you remember this. On this map, we actually saw a Roadhog in the grand finals, I think, out of nowhere. And it was so confusing. But you remember? Yeah, you'll never forget that moment. And literally just popped off. I think I was there. That's when I was there live in person, right? I was co-streaming from Dallas. Remember that one? And like out of nowhere, just a Roadhog, and you're just like, huh? Like, and then the hog popped off.
When there's burst damage coming from every angle.
I mean, he jumps in over the top, and he sees Stalker in Shio.
It was Junbin, yeah. Because that was when Malga was really strong, which is crazy how that still works. But Stalker with a huge early pick.
Does not make it, and Stalker kicking things off with another kill in this fight.
And that's a good 20% right there.
Oh yeah, just the early pick, yep.
Falcons would like to continue to put pressure on Crazy Raccoon as Lips made the switch over to the Sombra.
This is really good.
Flexibility, mobility of Hanbin and disrupt them a little bit.
Does it ever feel good though when you drop the Sojourn, right? Like Sojourn seems to be so strong.
I mean, there's strategy here. Lip is also just really good on Sombra.
If you have to drop it, it feels
right. Like Lip is just good at Sombra. So, you know, yeah, the Sojourn's been working, but right now it's not. I'm okay with them swapping it up a little bit. Maybe, like, hack the D.Va, all in the D.Va type of situation.
Can he harass, Stalker proper? Can he stop Hanbin from diving his backline?
I mean, Lip is really good on a lot of heroes, but... Isn't like, Lip's, like, MVP skin, like, also Sombra or something?
Hanbin was clearly chasing the Kiriko, and there wasn't anything Junbin could do.
I don't love this comp from
so that should give you an idea.
Bringing in the Sombra into the mix. I understand the thought behind it, right? Being able to get these hacks onto
Proper gets out. I mean, that is such low HP. Good Juno ultimate. That was really well played timing wise. Problem is it's already up to 80%. He's saying he's gonna have to go for an outplay here. Yep. You like have to do that too because if you save it and you lose a team fight, but Hanbin, holy crap! Lip gets a kill. So it's Junbin and Lip on point. Nice pick. Very smart choice too. Hanbin gets another kill and still has ultimate. Holy crap. I think this might be the map.
Stay alive as long as he possibly can. But Stalker's sitting on a railgun here and Wall Buddy nails Shoe with it. Tough to bounce back from that one indeed. Chorog desperately on the
Oh, I was gonna say it looked like my Sojourn out there, but it got kills.
And that's all she wrote, folks.
Damn.
What a first map. We are watching.
Still was a good first map, though. Obviously, that round was a little bit rough, but overall a good map. I hope that this series gets a lot closer, especially when you get into the map picks again here now. So, you know, CR has opportunity to pick the next map here and make an adjustment. We'll see what happens. Gonna go to the bathroom and grab a water. Chat will be a couple minutes, okay? The follow button if you have it, and I'll be your B.
Especially with a perk that gives you those 2 slides, that extra escape potential should Winston come knocking.
And like how you mentioned,
Here we go.
getting rid of that torp opens up some Tracer play, right? And if you're Falcons and you have proper, Tracer is an amazing pick, especially to combo with the Winston.
And he's someone who's been looked at as Johnny sort of talked this team through the intros as someone that would need to step up, would need to raise the level against a position like Proper and Stalker. Can he do that on this map? It's time for map 2, folks. Also, the early pleasantries being exchanged here, already getting some attention from Harvarders. Falcons are the first team to make a surge forward.
Okay. Winston versus Winston. I don't mind this. Pretty much a mirror. I mean, not even pretty much. Just a mirror comp in general. Falcons have a little bit of map control here. Torung's also already 45 on beat. Holy crap.
Bubble down here for Junbin. Gotta be careful. Lip also getting a little bit low.
I mean, CR is saying, hey, we can take 8,000 damage. Yeah, I was just going to say. Holy crap.
It's just too low.
Look at the ult charge here between Stalker and Lip. I mean, 54 to 24 there. In that first fight, the neutral, just so much more damage out of the Sojourn on the side of Falcons.
I mean, it paid off there. You saw that Junbin was low, tries to dive up, and eventually gets taken down. Definitely getting a lot of stairs here from the enemy Sojourn.
We're on with Stalker, and you can see that every time somebody crosses the point,
I'm looking into getting a better, like, seat or, like, pants for the bike. Because the seat definitely hurt a little bit after a while, but yeah. I would forget about gears and stuff too. Yeah.
Speak the devil's name, and he shall appear. It's going to be Proper dealing with Chorong at the start of this game, so now that flexibility
I'm ready.
No longer available to Crater Raccoon. Will also further delay.
And rough start for CR here. It's weird because like it's not even when Stalker has such a massive like ult charge lead. It means that like there's no way you're gonna win that neutral unless something crazy happens, or unless like you like build up a really fast support ultimate because you're taking so much damage from their Sojourn. So
95% looks like Crazy Raccoon.
I have no idea what my bike has. I'll be real with you. It's like I forgot what it's called, but it's a good bike. It just I just didn't really get buttons on it.
But it's something that comes far too late in the day. A recall there for Hiimishie.
See, my take about this is I think Hanbin's Winston is better. I also think, or not better. Like I think it's gotten better is what I'm saying. But it's gotten better. But what I've also say is like I'm also playing better on Winston in ranked, which I think it just shows you Winston's just very strong and one of the better tanks in the game regardless. So like it's more about the there you go. Yeah.
Didn't really have anywhere good to go.
That's how you know right there, by the way, that Hanbin likes more of the off tanks, because that is the classic case, and I do it all the time. The classic, I'm going to try and save my ult as much as possible because every other Winston I see does this, and then I try to do it, and then that happens. Oh yeah, I wasn't saying it was better than Junbin's Winston. And that's why I said after, I was like, it's more like has gotten better since like beforehand. So.
Oh, buddy, that's brutal. And again, the head-to-head of Sojourn is going to be instrumental on this map. Stalker wins it out once again, and the rest of the ultimates, frankly, just don't end up mattering. Can't be back to the point.
Yeah, I mean, the ults don't matter again in general. It's just not.
Later beat from Crazy.
I don't know what CR should do right now, but it's not working.
Do we see it there from?
Do they switch tanks and just say heck it? Do they? Nope, they're staying the same.
And just domes Lip there.
It's almost as if delivered Stalker to get in position to kill Lip.
And Falcons is in a 6th spot now, right? I mean, you have this Kitsune rush. You're going to end up with this.
And Falcons will be aggro with this too. The moment they see like any opportunity. Proper looking for the 1v1. I mean, it's a good overclock for what's supposed to happen, but yep, can't do much. They're flipping the point right now. Lip gets the kill, and they're trying to flip the point.
once again embroiled in a deadly duel with
Oh.
but he's always got help. Chio always seems to be there, but Heesang's done his job. He's drawn these two players away from the main formation. And he doesn't
Still should be good, though. I still think that was enough by Hiimishie to, like...
Yeah, but is it enough, right? You still have
I think it is.
Improper alive here.
They were down multiple. It should have been enough. Yes, that was a good play. That was a very good play. That allowed for them to focus on having a numbers advantage main after the first pick, and then it created even more of a numbers advantage. So, good play. I mean, it's possible for CR. They're going to be aggressive with Kitsune now. They know they have to be. And I think CR will be. I don't think this is going to be a... If they'll be aggro, it's a when they'll be aggro. They might go for an early pulse bomb to maybe save that for another team fight. That'd be ideal. But yeah, they're not really... Tig's looking for the 1v1. Not going to take it yet. They still haven't used it yet. Now they're going to use it. There it is. Actually, they went with beat instead. Ooh, okay. I'm surprised. Oh, no, because they counter-beated. Yeah, that's the correct play. I was like, I'm surprised they countered with the Kitsune, but then I realized it actually was a really good play because they had pop beat, so you're just trading the support ultimates there. If they get... I don't think they can actually tap point. I think that's the point here. So, Proper's going to try to touch middle. I think Hiimishie saw that. Yeah, that's it. Good recovery by CR. Nope, Proper does touch point. Or Winston. Oh, no, Winston touches point. Okay. Either way, I think they get that. So, good recovery there. That was looking rough.
We'll try and drag this out a little bit longer. Let's just swats him aside, young blood.
Didn't they already ban Ana, or am I thinking of a different match?
It's always so dangerous though when Proper's on the Tracer, right?
Maybe they already banned Ana.
You see him regardless if you know his team is down, you know, a player.
But I imagine there will be an Ana ban at some point. Yes.
The possibility of magic whenever I see that guy.
He is just
no, they haven't. Okay, that was the previous match then. There was a previous ban prior. Yeah, that makes more sense then. Might have been the Nightmare. Well, I mean, I think it was the Nightmare match, yeah. They went early with that. Or maybe it was Falcons. I don't remember anymore. Nice shot by Lip. Holy crap. Is it enough, though? I think it's enough to trade out, yes. That shot by Lip right there was super important last second. Hanbin does get the kill on Shu, though. And Junmin can't run in there. And the reason why he can't run in there is because that's the spawn. Wrong spawn, right?
Fielder has a Kitsune rush to bring it to the next engagement, though.
Yeah, and
damn.
Actually stays alive on the point, so at that last moment, it's just the Tracers and the Winstons alive.
Yes, Ana will still be bannable. Yep, it's a good call. There's been a lot of matches.
Able to just kind of put a touch on it there, drag Junbin and Hiimishie back, and then he deals with Hiimishie, everybody coming off of
It's such a good start.
Quite interesting is Falcons are pretty fortunate. They end up winning that fight. And they also end up holding onto the Kitsune rush, you know, not of their own doing, right? Fielder gets domed by Lit right off the bat.
Absolutely does.
Comparison of these DPS, Matt Stalker v Lib, Hiimishie v Proper. It definitely feels like it
Here we go.
Falcons across the board. 46% and counting, and a fight won without a singular
Yep, without using ult, which is very true. Falcons are building up their ult pool now. I mean, CR just wants to be aggressive here. They need to reset ults at the very least. And that's what they're going to do. They go in, they counter with their own Kitsune. They're double beaten. So this is just to basically reset ult pool. Win or lose, which obviously they're hoping they win this team fight. This is just a let's all use our ultimates to reset ults. Like, we need to reset ult economy regardless to be able to win this. They do get major kills here, but I just think there's going to be enough. I say that, but then... They flip the point. It's 3v3. They can slow play it a little bit. Stalker's already taken a bunch of HP. Kiriko's getting low. Yeah, I think they're able to just play it slow for a second. As long as, well, if Stalker hits a really good shot, but yeah. CR's still in it. Hanbin jumps to the point. Junmin goes back. I mean, if you look at the ults, we're going to have double Winston ults coming up. It just depends if, like, a random pick happens, which could happen, obviously. So they were trying to all-in the Lucio. Lucio self-peels. Get ready for double Winston ult very soon. Lip might pop Sojourn ultimate very quickly here, though, but I think they're going to try to space this out a little bit. Both Winstons feel confident to dive in aggressively, so they're going to dive in aggressively. They think they're going to build their ult in time. Hanbin doesn't actually build it in time and has to waste bubble, which, I mean, obviously would have used bubble to begin with. Both Winstons have ults. Now they're going to be a big backline pressure play across the board. Lip uses ult. Can use it on the Winston, but might fall over here. Great peel by the team. And in the meantime, Junmin hasn't even had to use ultimate in main. They counter with beat to take the point back. You could argue probably wasn't necessary, but I think it was just because they needed to get ults out, and you traded out anyway for beat, so you have your own counter beat. So really good job there. Really, really good job there by CR. Rough starts on both those points, really strong finishes.
jumps in.
What is Primal Blade? It's just Primal kills. It just became a thing. If you were really good at Winston, you'd chain like 3 or 4 kills. Very similar to how you get like, you know, Blade resets and stuff like that.
It's pretty easy to hit a Winston in your face, and it's pretty easy to chunk him down quicker than
there's the beat. I think CR is going to try to back away, and they are, and they're going to go back in very shortly with their own Kitsune. They got the support ult. This is actually huge. Oh, actually, that's out of position by Gio. And then now if they want a Kitsune, they can, which they already did. He's saying doing a good job of keeping proper out of the team fight. They know Hanbin's low, too, so they can just go for that. No trades. I mean, that is a next to perfect team fight for Crazy Raccoon. Think about it. They don't have Sojourn Ultimate, but they managed to cleanly win a team fight, start building to their next ult rotation, all while making sure Falcons are on a similar ult rotation outside of a Sojourn ult. That's pretty damn good. Yeah.
He is out of there, and that just sets him up perfectly. They have a Kitsune rush to follow up right after that. The tide seemed to be turning.
I mean, and they're willing to slow play this. Like, they're not gonna they're gonna dive in, but there you go. They're not gonna try to. They might overstock actually, but I think this is gonna get Winston killed. Nope. Okay, Winston does die there. Yep. But then they're able to trade on the Sojourn. 3v3.
Still in the mix. Lip goes down. Prophecy's a pretty easy target, and Chorong there.
And then nothing happens.
Crazy
Reset.
have to satisfy themselves with about 60% before the flip comes back and Falcons fight for the map.
So it's that overclock that comes through there from Stalker. They absolutely need
a
big burst of damage.
They all keep at it.
From the Sojourn, and they have a lot.
Everybody keeps at it. Here we go.
Crazy Raccoon, you're gonna have a fight that you can probably take here, maybe try and get that rush out, then come back. You're still gonna be in the lead and have double support ult.
Lip repositions, trying to keep an eye on Stalker, but instead turns his attention to Gio, but that leaves him open to Hanbin. Tickles him down, Lip going low.
Ooh, good support here on Lip. Holy crap. They managed to use beat and they have Kitsune after. I mean, this might be... Holy crap, the supports are playing so well. It's crazy. They're getting constantly pressured and traded on. Hanbin goes down to Lip. Lip gets the kills. Anything else here? I mean, does CR go for the map win? I think they do. I think they're going to get Kitsune main, and they're just going to go for the map win. They're going to force out beat, but I think it's worth. I mean, it's not a bad play to play passive, but I think, like, set the tone. And I think CR recognizes this. I wouldn't doubt it if we see a fast Kitsune. Yep, there's the Kitsune. They obviously pop beat. Lip doesn't get it. Lip doesn't get with the team, though. But a huge pulse bomb onto Hanbin. Oh, look at that aim right there. They're going to slow play point for a little bit, so you're going to kind of watch this back and forth. That's why they're being aggressive. They're not going to give them opportunity to sit there and get numbers. And I think, if I'm correct, this should get us to another map. I mean, not another map, but like a map win for CR. In his official chat, we will not have a 4-0. It is official. We will not have a 4-0. What a series right there, because CR started off rough, and they just clutched it every single moment they had. Every single moment. Well played. Runasapi, I mean, this makes sense. Right, this map makes sense. I mean, we did see... I think we did see Falcons lose on Runasapi. That was the one they lost against once again, right? And they lost the Mauga mirror. So, like, I wouldn't doubt it if CR is not afraid to run Mauga here. I actually... I think that... Yeah, I don't think they're afraid to run Mauga, though, because they've already seen Falcons kind of, like, lose to that. Yeah, they're going to run the... Are they going to run the Juno version of this because they have the Ana ban? Might see Wrecking Ball? That'd be... Maybe. Cassidy and Ana. Huh. Interesting bans. When is Mauga meta going to end? It already did. This is just a team who likes to play Mauga. That's really all it is. I mean, it's not like... I have... It's been very, very rare Mauga mirrors today. Or in general. We did see it happen earlier, and then it shifted away from Mauga. Mauga isn't meta. It's just... Mauga is a hero that's very viable. Okay, what's the better way to put this? Mauga is in the meta. Okay, let me rephrase this. Mauga is in the meta, but there's a lot of other heroes that are also in the meta now, outside of 5 heroes. That makes sense?
Also, getting rid of the Ana not only makes it harder to play those Winston combos.
So like there's a
also takes,
Mauga
like, the
can
bio
be
grenade
one of the
option
viable
available,
tanks,
right?
but
You
isn't
do
like
play that Mauga composition.
if you don't go Mauga, you can still win. Previous versions of Mauga, absolutely could not. It was you were just getting rolled if you didn't.
Shooter back Junbin up, which he did an admirable job of on Suravasa.
Well, we'll see. It can be difficult to keep that Winston alive, obviously, against
I'm
these
ready.
Mauga compositions. So well, this is going to be. So if you're going to run this, if you're Crazy Raccoon.
Yep, Winston versus Mauga.
Fast,
See?
right? You're going to try and collapse maybe.
Now, if they get rolled right away, does that mean they'll go Mauga? There's a chance, yes. But as you can see, the teams don't feel like they have to. And it's all like this was an unpredictable start. You pretty much knew that Falcons were going to run Mauga here, and CR was still confident to go the comp they have. Cardiac Overdrive's down, so they're going to back away. As you go Hagen said, yeah, against Mauga, that'd be really good too. So the Cardiac Overdrive is going to dictate kind of how Falcons play this. So CR is going to really try to pressure them out as much as they can. Like, it's going to pressure Mauga to get Cardiac Overdrive out. Here's the engagement tool. Might use the Cardiac. There it is. They're going to wait as long as they can. They want to survive this initial peel, and now they can go back in. Hanbin has to run, and they're going to get a little bit of the map control. And that's kind of the rotation they're going to go with every time. Really nice shot by Lip. They should be able to follow up on Hanbin now. And then we've talked about how a lot of the strategy of how Hanbin likes to play Mauga is to basically charge in and go to a corner. And I talk about it all the time. A lot of the times, reason people struggle in ranked Overwatch, it's different in pro play, is you play into the Cardiac Overdrive. When Mauga lights up like that, you have a 3-second window of try not to damage Mauga, not to take any damage from Mauga, and then you just have free kills. But you have to get through the Cardiac Overdrive. Good start, though, for CR. Far from over, though. Far from over. They do have a really quick Kitsune. Actually, I think they're going to take a little bit of poke damage right now, and they're going to Kitsune in the moment they get it. They're at 93%. Mauga does go in, but we know this is the bait strategy. Now they're going to go away with it. Yep, I was going to say. That's like a perfect opportunity. Cardiac Overdrive is almost done. Kill the people flanking. Yep, and then now you get some bot time. Although whoever took bot there, clutch play. I imagine that would be proper, but very, very clutch play to take the bot back there because that's going to buy a little bit of time to prevent this initial choke point. I think they'll have enough spawns to at least be able to position near it and come back with their own support ult usage. It may even just lead out with Sojourn ultimate, but it depends. Yep. Here's the Mauga charge. Don't be surprised to see a few ults. I love that reaction by Hiimishie to go with that. They do pop Juno ult too, so it's not going to be an easy team fight win here. They have to actually disengage out, and they're going to go with a safe disengage to the middle. Junbin's still alive, so they can be aggressive here shortly and do some backline pressure. So good plays by both teams right there. Really good play by both teams is where I'm at with that one.
A little bit more damage in the neutral, right? As opposed to the Genji is. You actually see Crazy Raccoon get back in the fight right away. It'll be Stalker.
Stalker pops out. Ooh, that's going to be tough, I was going to say. Yeah, they get their Brig ult out too, so, you know, it's not a bad moment there. Just got to back away, reset, and go again. They have beat. Unfortunately, Falcons have Mauga ultimate, which could disrupt any type of play here. So you got to try to engage like ASAP to get those ults out, or yeah, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna beat in, try to force out any defensive ults, and if not, you get free kills. Hanbin might go for this if nothing else happens. Hanbin does pop out, but I think it might have been a little bit too risky of a play. Yep. So, good job by CR to survive that, and now they're in an interesting spot. Does Hanbin stay on Mauga now? Do you see maybe a swap? We have seen Hanbin opt to swap, and the answer is no. Very confident in this comp.
But if you can't full commit, like, then why are you playing Mauga? Yeah, like, this is also something.
Kitsune, and I don't think they know this Kitsune's here. I think they know it soon. Oh no, but that's like the worst case. You don't want to get an early pick. They're gonna trade out now. Yep. And now they should be in a spot to survive for a little bit. What a Winston bubble. I mean, that Winston bubble literally carried that. And now they get the checkpoint. CR is going to spawn up immediately. Anybody who fell over. And now they actually are set up too. Farrah can set up in a location for an ultimate, and Lip can play Sojourn out pretty far back. So there's a lot of opportunity here to see like a really good play happen. We'll see. Yeah, the barrage is the interesting one. Who said they're just going to take map control and keep trying to flank together. Mauga's on point. Point's getting flipped again, by the way. Proper is doing a correct play. This is the proper way to play that. Because no matter what, you're not getting any bot control, so by the time they go and get the bot back, I mean, heck, even Lip just got a bad spawn because of that.
Just 60 more meters to go.
So, I mean, great job by Proper.
They found him. So, I mean, I guess benefit there is Proper moves the bot back towards the mid-map. Doesn't allow them to just kind of keep rolling.
Probably a deep dive here onto the Sojourn by Winston.
Falcons base.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It still has looked really ugly.
Prime up here for Junbin. Not much else to speak of, though, for Crazy Raccoon. Last time we saw Stalker with this rail, he finds a key first pick.
Yep.
OC at the ready. Harmon again, being tentative this map. Being on a hero that wants to commit, but has just been unsure.
Well, there's no targets for him really either.
There's not. Nope.
And again, they're stuck to the Malga, though, so that's a question we're going to keep asking, I think, over the course of Runasapi. As there's a pretty big lead that Crazy Raccoon have been able to mount. And he's like,
oh no. That is the worst time, and now their option is to either go in with ultimates or just back away. Backing away is the correct play unless they trade out a kill. They kind of flipped the map. This is kind of weird. Yep.
So the map, they've got to regroup, and that is going to cost them time and meterage.
And it feels like you should have maybe kind of moved away from this Mauga composition a fight or two ago, but hey, fully committed to it. 80 meters.
I love that dive because you know they have those ults to begin with, so you go in. Yep. Good beat. Double of them are getting low, so this could be an opportunity for a kill. Good counter beat. Junbin's one. Huge pick. They trade out, though. Proper gets two. And that's that team fight. But ultimates are in favor of CR for a while.
It is such a huge deficit.
Oh, no. Junbin survives with 22 HP in a 1v1.
To get back into this one here for Falcons.
Here we go.
We are more than halfway through Runasapi, and a massive lead here for Crazy Raccoon. And
he's saying he's a little bit out of position. I was going to say.
Okay. He's saying actually a little just
oh, no. Oh, what a cleanse. That was a good cleanse.
He can dish the D's, but when he has to be that utility player,
yep,
he absolutely delivers in moments like that. Still, though, Crazy Raccoon are in flux. They don't quite have everybody in.
He's saying as ult. If Hiimishie goes in, don't be surprised to see a quick Farrell play next time around. That seems to be their play.
For an assault on their checkpoint.
You imagine, though, a barrage going to be lined up here from Hiimishie. No support.
Well, what if it isn't lined up, huh?
They've done a nice
then what?
job putting that pressure on a Stalker, right? The last time he got that overclock was taken out so fast, got no value from it.
And right now, CR is totally okay with slow playing this. So okay with just slow playing it.
He's saying keeping tabs there on Proper.
Yep.
Keeping the Tracer honest.
Kitsune very soon, but they're gonna. There it is. Yep.
Perfect. He's saying had the barrage ready to deploy, and Falcon's now going to follow up with this Kitsune rush. It's classy stuff from Stalker. Mid-air, poetry in motion. The rails keep coming.
I know what chat. I know what you're thinking, chat. It's like watching me play Sojourn. I know. I know.
They wanted to play around that corner, right? Force Falcons
no big deal.
Around it, you know, maybe have
this game is close. And I'm going to be honest with you, CR is going to be in a very unique spot here because they lost the ability to get that extra bonus of a quick spawn, and they have to take a really fast engagement point here. So we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to be an overclock to start the fight. No Stalker again wants to keep Hiimishie out of the fight. He's got to respect it. Sound barrier has to be deployed there by
almost as good as me on Genji.
Here comes Hiimishie looking for a moment. The sound barrier. It stops the ultimate entirely. Falcon's now in a position.
I was going to say, I think that Junbin's going to fall over in a second. And Falcons is going to take the lead.
Out of the game for now. And Falcons are approaching the total of
there it is. The lead has been taken.
Left to play. It's out Crazy Raccoon on the receiving end.
And this would be why you don't see a lot of teams play Winston comps into Maga, as eventually it just feels
Holy
like
crap, what a comeback this has been by Falcons on this map. Holy crap.
Huge advantage. Now Crazy Raccoon, they will go to a Maga of their own here.
I mean, they're back on Farah. I mean, they have to win the next 8 team fights in a row, and they can almost get close to winning.
What is Hanbin has the cage fight at the ready. Lip here needs to make his way through it.
This could be a really good opportunity here.
Already out of the game. That's been dealt with at least. 3 players out for both sides, and Shu had a
damn.
rush. He's not gonna have a chance to deploy
And CR finally goes to Mauga now because they know that they need to win off of those team fights, but I think that might be it. I just don't think they can touch point, but it's not going to be perfect by any means.
Considering a map completion after having to play so patient, so
Okay, never mind. They're good for now.
Get there, hurrah.
Can they bring it back? Good news for them, they have ult advantage. Bad news, they need to use ult advantage to win team fights, or not use their ult at all. That's also an option, apparently. Yep. And then it looks like they opted for don't use any ults at all option outside of Kasune. So that's pretty much this map. That's pretty much this map. Dude, I went downstairs to get a water. I ended up getting a yogurt. Let me go grab my water. I knew I forgot something. You're back. Here we go. Zenyatta in the Hazard ban. We got Winston versus Winston. So no Mauga here, which is a good map selection for this. Ice Clash on the pool. Clash is banned from ranked, so they're taken out of this too. Clash is in rework mode.
That's true and factual.
Kind of in rework mode.
Good to have you back, of course, now, and as Johnny mentioned, a pivotal map for Crazy Raccoon to go down 3-1 in this first of 4 series feels almost insurmountable.
I'm ready.
A superhuman effort to come back. Zen ban, Hazard ban here. Looks like we're locked in for a bit of Winston play.
It would be
3,
quite brutal
2,
to fall
1, and here we go.
3-1, as you're just rattling through your map picks with no positive results to show for it. As Hanbin does get hit with a bio here towards the beginning, but not going to play close.
All right, it's time.
To get caught off guard with it as Crazy Raccoon. They will play Churong on the break. This is to protect Shoot on the Ana.
We got Winston versus Winston. Ana Brig, though. That's the difference here. The classic Ana Brig. Bit of a slower comp, but like a very like traditional, like you just basically run Ana Brig. It's kind of easier to know how to play that comp too. It's basically Winston goes up, does a bit of damage, you go back, you get healed up, you get nano really quick, you go in. Right? And that allows for, obviously Shu to be able to be unkillable in the back line. Flip side is you can get rushed on a little bit more, as in, like, their team can play a little bit more aggro against you. But once you get the first nano going, if you win that team fight, that's pretty much that, right? Look at all that damage output there. Shu just got the double Ana grenade perk, too. I think they don't even have to do anything. Proper gets a kill on Lip, but I think, like, this will be enough to just clean the rest of the team up. He's saying his aim's been good today. I mean, it usually always is, but like Shu only gets 3 right there. Would have liked to see 4, but it is what it is.
You notice we saw Shu's POV earlier. Hanbin is chasing Junbin around the map. Shu is just holding M1, pumping damage into that Winston, and becomes not insignificant.
You could nano.
Period of time. Nano boost already deployed here as
Winston
well.
here is probably the play. He's saying gets a huge kill. They don't even need a nano. Pretty clean start here. Pretty clean start.
He's not even really worried about what's going on here.
By CR. I mean, that's about as clean as it gets. You know?
So, look, Falcons, is this Winston really what you want to commit to, right? It feels like you've made.
I mean, they still have nano too. They're gonna stuff the doors with nano, 100%. Unless they're trying to save it even more and just like go with Winston out and then go again.
Yeah, it feels like their strength, but Falcons have had to adapt here because they know there's some maps that really still favor Crazy Raccoon style.
Oh, but he doesn't use ult. Oh
no! Every time he goes overhead. It is Junbin though that makes a slight miss.
That's rough. That's like the last thing you want to happen there. You know? That's like the last thing you want to happen.
It's going to be an extremely volatile next fight with his war chest of ultimates deployed.
Well, I guess that's where, like, if you're Falcons, you could have actually ended up getting rid of the Winston, right? I mean, that could have been an option here, but I guess you feel so.
I mean, I guess your real question is here: do you nano in, or do you just like go in with Winston out, use Winston out, and then nano Winston the after? I'm imagining an opt for Winston goes in with the ultimate, and then Nano after, but it looks like they end up using it for Brig, so maybe that makes more sense. Ah, so their option is like basically Nano backline and let Winston just kind of, you know, play as is. They're gonna ult now. Yep, the moment that Lip got a kill there, you definitely want to counter ult that right away. And that's where these teams can become really good at, like some of the plays they'll make is like recognizing, okay, we're down in numbers, but we just got to pick. I'm not even going to think twice about hitting that button. And that's always the important part about that, by the way, chat. Right? That's the important part usually. Fielder might get out because of this, by the way. Nice stagger. Good job. All right, 4.5 minutes going into the third.
4 minutes plus to complete the match.
They have a Sojourn ultimate coming up. They are going to struggle a little bit against the Winston ultimate, but can be dealt with, especially on third point. You lose a little bit of value. Third point, you lose a little bit of value in the comp. So
Team Falcons have to mirror to some degree. But this Brig Ana looking for Crazy Raccoons feels like it gives them such an edge.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Head to head. He's aiming the hunt.
Is this the final matchup? Yes, this is the grand finals. Yep. Yeah, they forced out ult, which is what they wanted to do. They forced it out rather quickly, too. Nice sleep. It's only for 3 seconds, so they're not going to be able to go for any type of play. Just back away. Heal up Junbin, go in with your own Sojourn ultimate. They're going to probably go for a Pulse Bomb play on Sojourn right now. Ended up hitting the Pulse Bomb, but not on the Sojourn. And then Stalker also gets a kill. And now they're kind of reset. But, you know, again, Falcons are okay with that. They got out a lot of the ult pool. They're going to have 4 ultimates coming up to, like, maybe 2 on Falcons. Right? Maybe.
Gets selected, then gets hit with a bio on the way up.
Who do I cheer for? I just cheer for a good match. I just want good Overwatch.
But Falcons does a nice job keeping him alive.
Now you're probably going to nano the Winston because you know what their ult pool is. This is where you would probably give it to Winston rather than give it to your Brig. But maybe that just, oh wait, maybe now they're going to use it on Brig. Yep. So that is their strategy. There's no, like, we're going to lead in with the Winston ultimate. It's when they dive in, we're going to nano our backline. Which technically nanos both the supports for a little bit. So Fielder does get a kill. They know Proper just used recall, but obviously has like 7,000 blinks. Just got another blink with that health back. I think Choron's going to pop his ult. I'm surprised. Maybe it was too scrappy of a fight. Or it felt like it would still fall over. Yeah, it was too scrappy. That's what it was.
Towards the final checkpoint. Dude, the survivability from the backline on Crazy Raccoon is insane.
Almost got a kill there too.
Was able to use the nano on the Chorong there.
Good trade. I don't know if they'll go for it or not.
And then if she was able to stay alive, Chorong could have actually
okay, they're gonna reset. Reset.
You basically become an unkillable support line.
And I don't think he swaps either.
Seconds or so. Crazy Raccoon ends up falling in the end. They hold on to that rally. Like
could go Mauga on like a retake or like a Diva if like he falls over before ult or after ult.
Now we're below 2 minutes, so Falcons putting together a pretty respectable hold here towards the end of the match.
Yeah, Falcons are in a pretty good steady spot right now. Like your drops, let's go. Heck yeah.
Favorable position in terms of ult economy as well. Sitting on 4 of them, no less. Proper now, he's around to go off. He's going to be wary of the shield bash now, but looks to get past Choron.
What a stick. I mean,
Choron just has to play his own life. Shield up to defend himself, but now they've lost the
This has been a really close third point. But third point is like kind of like this in general. It's not an easy third point. Kind of like you see a hold on second point Kings or OWCS. Do the drops end after this match? Nope. Nope.
And now really nothing for Crazy Raccoon to be able to use. Fielder's gonna have this Kitsune.
I think CR, what they need to do now is go for an aggressive nano play. Like, because they're using it to peel, but they're always losing somebody during it. So, Lip with a huge shot. If they can get nano in time, I would say nano. Wait, Hanbin went to the back line and killed both supports without a nano or anything. All right, I mean, this is last team fight. Holy crap, this has been quite the hold.
Falcons now.
This has been quite the hold, I must say.
Here on this map, which just a few minutes ago would have seemed unlikely, as Shio's got this sound barrier, should be able to
Got to nano the Winston in this time. I think like you got to go in with Winston ultimate, be aggressive, force out some plays. There's the beat, there's the nano, but they did it with Sojourn this time. I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that too. That's also a really good decision, I would say. And Junmin can pop ult here, and Hanbin does have ult, but like, there you go. Flip the map. Ooh, really good flank, but able to pick up a kill. This is looking rough. I think they're gonna have to come back as like. Junmin does pop ult. They have Hiimishie on point. They get a kill. Oh, they still get the kill though. Oh no! This is so close, but I think Falcons are gonna hold. Unless we see some like crazy play. They're on the brig. No, 98%! I think the Rhine now really solidifies the win. What a hold. Woo! This is the last day of OWCS today. Yep.
The frustration on the faces of
this is the last, this is the grand finals for this tournament.
They had 426 to be able to complete the map, and they are not able to get it done. Chorong ends up dying 99% to a rally there towards the end as well.
You see a look in his face. Not a happy camper.
Falcons, they have to feel like they are just, you know, coming away with highway robbery here, right? Like, you know, the first two parts of the map, it's
all right.
Just all crazy.
This is a good match. Third point is really rough on this map, by the way. It can be tough to cap it, so I still think it's very winnable for CR.
Win conditions to simply you know, or Stalker, as it were, shooting people in the face, but ended up really being the
sometimes it is that simple.
Yeah.
Yes. Lib got nanoed. They sent him in. Was able to do pretty good work there as well, instantly taking Stalker out of the game, and it looks like
okay, here we go.
Get there. But Proper is so sticky. So hard to get him off that cart in those final moments. And there's a sim just to TP forward for Lib. Crazy Raccoon were already floundering.
Yeah, we talked about Hanbin's primal there towards the end, which was pretty massive, but even before
you didn't get all your drops. Oh, damn. Well, plenty of time to get these ones still. Yep.
Shu in the cart, so we actually can't really see Junbin, and puts his bubble down. That's where you actually see Fielder TP to them, and then being able to take that kill down on the Shu, then primal. So some nice Winston play towards the end from Hanbin. Stalker comes out, ceremonial Widow shot, and now we go back to the Sojourn.
I'm ready.
Now Falcons know
they're gonna play close. This is a viable strat. Hanbin's just playing the corner there, playing position in, trying to reduce damage taken. Pretty normal start here.
Crazy Raccoon defend a little bit further forward than you would otherwise expect, but Lip has already had to get out.
Well, Lip has to get out there just for a second. Like it's just ooh. Like you want to buy anytime you can. It's very important there. Yeah, pushing at 69 meters is extremely nice. I think there's no disagreements on that one.
You're good to go here on the defensive side of things. So many great sight lines.
Break the bubble. Junbin's low. Too low. Good sleep on Stalker. I don't think they can do anything because of the cleanse. Yep.
One of the most important kills you can take in this situation, especially when
there's the dive.
Just force you out of line of
they don't want to stagger here. That was a really important pick by Lip. But then right away traded on. Yeah.
Goes down, but it's the least impactful kill really here that Crazy Raccoon could have found.
We'll see if CR can actually come back. Challenge this as Shu is building up towards a nano rather quickly. You see players just coming around the corner here, taking some damage. Shu able to farm this up.
Crazy Raccoon know they're going to fight in quickly, but that's another massive pick from Stalker.
Nice sleep.
It's been absolutely
I mean, they get nano. Yeah, there's the nano. That's a huge nano, too. Oh, the right click on Fielder. Still probably won't matter. Yeah. And if you're wondering why Junbin couldn't rush in there, like, you're just going to fall over if you do. Shu gets a kill on Stalker, but a little bit too late. Not the best first point for what they needed. But let's see how second goes. Yep.
Anything there, Mitch. Literally nothing. So now you come in here, 5 ultimates. We talked about how good Crazy Raccoon's time was through these first 2 parts of the map, and then they kind of falter at the end. Falcons in a position to sit just as good of a time.
Crazy Raccoon now perhaps concerned, mild desperation even starting to set in. Junbin turns around, see Hanbin there, realizes he just doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the Winston right now. Proper's already going to cause enough problems on his own, and Stalker's holding on to that overclock from Pryor.
Huge pick by Hiimishie, and they got it right before Proper went down. Now, they're still committed to this team fight because a lot of the time, that was one of those weird pulse bombs where I think from Stalker's point of view, he had no idea where that pulse bomb was. Like, you assume it's not near you, and then it ended up being right there. Fielder's going to TP out. Nope, never mind, because they had killed.
He ends up falling towards the end. Hanbin makes it out with his life. I was like,
yep.
If Fielder is able to maybe TP out there to Hanbin, you can have both DPS coming off of spawn rather quickly with both ultimates, so maybe you can actually kind of extend that fight, but once you end up losing Fielder, it is now a full team reset.
You mentioned how many ultimates Falcons took into this phase of the map. That is certainly not the case now. Both the support ultimates out of the game. Hanbin, a big blow that he takes as before he even lands there on that.
Ooh, that's a huge shot. Okay, that's the play you need to see from Lip right now too, right? Like this is the stuff that needs to like. No free kills here. It's very deathmatchy though. You see how Fielder's bottom there? Huge pick. And now, finally CR can settle a little bit. They have all their ults. They've gotten time off the clock. They're feeling confident now. Now they can play more aggro. And that's going to be the most important part. So we'll see.
With that Ana starting to get rolling, that time was Hanbin actually hit with a bio grenade. They're able to finish him off, and Crazy Raccoon now has a huge ultimate advantage.
Junbin here gets out, got his job done, played close, keeps Falcons somewhat.
Got to be a little bit more aggro though here. Don't give them too much map control. They're going to flip the map, which is technically the right strategy.
Blast doors, one after another, protect Lip now. Another nano being given over, which Shu knew Lip would be the target of scrutiny. And he gives him everything.
Nice job by Lip. Good nano play, good decision making, got an ultimate out. Cart barely budged. I mean, this is great. Multiple team fights. Holy crap. Now you still have Brig out, you have Winston out, you have Pulse Bomb. They're going to be able to play close here and deny some space. Junbin can be a little bit more aggro because of having ult. There's the ult. They're going to back away from this. But maybe you get like a kill out of this, or you get some ult charge for Shu, right?
Has a primal. Dare I say, a bit of a Sony ultimate. He makes space, slows Falcons up, gives them.
Well, I like that. You can get out too. Good Brig out, good Ana grenade. Gets Kitsune out.
On the right side of the kill feed.
I mean, they are just getting farmed coming through the.
And look at the ults now. Lip is already close to another ultimate. Shu's halfway. Hiimishie has a pulse bomb. Like it's like now they're starting to roll a bit more, right?
Take a look here. It's a replay of Lip with that nano.
And again, it's a sleep there that sets up such an easy pick on Hanbin. The first kill for Lip was massive, and the rest of it is just theatrics, really. Soundberry here for Falcons. They saw the pulse bomb encroaching.
Stalker gets multiple kills.
That's the backline accounted for.
They can get any kills here, though. That's a huge pick. I know Fielder can get back quickly, but like... Ooh!
If they can build this momentum a little further,
still have a retake here. Straight up, whoever wins this team fight wins second point. It's not even close. Huh. Okay, I saw the Lifeweaver. Oh, the Lifeweaver pull strat. What you do is you just pull somebody to get a little bit quicker. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really important Primal Rage. I think Shu is close to ult. And I think that's what they're trying to build. Exactly what they're trying to do. He's saying might go down early here, but this is all a part of their plan. They're going to nano Lip. There it is.
All right, well, Stalker's going to pop this overclock now. Lip gets a nano, doesn't quite have the OC developed, but here it comes. Primal Rage for Hanbin means he's not really
great play.
Attractive target.
Great play there.
Into oblivion. Here is Falcons now. It will be close to overtime, but they shall have themselves this checkpoint barring anything ridiculous. Stalker, great Suzu comes in there for Fielder. Means that Junbin really can only impotently flail at trying to bring down some of these players. Stalker may have gone missing, but now he will be surrounded.
Yeah.
By the remains of this Falcon lineup. There's enough to work with. Good boot back on Junbin.
I'd say just play for next point.
But time has been bought. Is it enough? Doesn't seem
No. Really good point, though. I mean, this is coming down to the wire. Obviously, you kind of want CR to win this to make it just a 2-2 matchup, right? They're going to play close, though. They're going to play somewhat close.
They got everything to go their way, and they're ending up pulling it out in the end.
We'll see.
Okay, so they end up having both support ultimates here coming around this corner. Proper with a pulse bomb as well. This is definitely doable for Falcons.
They've got to be quick about it, though. Like
Here we go.
pulse bomb here.
This is first to 4. Technically best of 7. If there's a draw, that's why they have that terminology. They're playing close because they're trying to minimize how many team fights are going to happen here. They are onto the Mauga, which is everybody's favorite hero. Right? Everybody likes to see Mauga. If a series is won with Mauga in it, then it's a good series. Right? A little bit concerned here. I feel like CR over-ulted this. I cannot believe that this is even as close as it is. He's saying he is going to use that for the blinks. It's interesting, the strategy now. Like, normally, like, you might just have your Tracer reset. I don't know how this is going close.
They're able to keep Hanbin alive. So difficult to deal with this Mauga, as it will be on Shu, potentially hit one of those big bios.
How do they access Shu? He's sitting so comfortably in the back line with the shield.
I mean, because they have beat, they're going to beat engage with everything.
Like you said, it's a sound barrier that Falcons are pinning their hopes on. Chio has to come up with the goods, but Shu is building yet another nano. Lip
they get pulse out.
The pulse of proper, it goes wayward anyway.
Shu is so close to nano.
That is Shu finding the hit he needs. Lip does go down, and Stalker commands.
Shu nano's break. That's a good nano, by the way, because that keeps both supports nanoed. Ooh, look at that. Did 4 damage to Hanbin.
Doesn't get any better than this. Team Falcons now will be reduced to their dregs. The final numbers.
Oh, let's go. We got a 2-2. What a series. Oh, all we can dream of is that Falcons will pick a Mauga map. We get to see some Mauga mirror. That'd be pretty sweet, right, chat? I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and we'll continue on, all right? This is a good series. I think they're going to get a player break now. So there's going to be like a longer, like I think after they get to a certain amount of maps played, that's why all the players stood up. They take like a 5-minute break or something. So, like, okay, bye. Wait, just right into a match now? I was on it. Let's go. Right into a match.
Discussion occurring down on the stage. We'll deliver you the details about that in a moment, but for now we've got a game to play. So we're going to dive straight in, and we'll give you some clarification as we go along.
All you need to know is we are back. We got a game going on.
Where's your timer? Above 12 seconds. See?
It's going to be Falcons. That'll be Brig being gone, and then for Crazy Raccoon, it will be Tracer taken out of the
Tracer and Brig bands.
Now this is ostensibly a Falcons pick. His Esperanza map. And they will be walking out with his Mauga look. So again,
and here we go.
Very distinct styles of these rosters will be pitted against each other.
Mauga versus Winston again. Now, so far we've seen Mauga do well against it, but we've also seen CR. I think they should have won Runasapi. I'll be real with you.
With Hanbin, it's like the first time in this series we've seen proper.
Stinger, thanks to the 11 months of the Prime sub. You love the Stigma guide? Heck yeah. Oh wait, crap! Are you still awake? Speaking of that, what do we stadium guide wise? I feel like I think we might just have to short form it. Hey, have you seen what I've seen? There's so much information about it that like it's.
To punish a misposition of this rather
I don't know how to go about it yet.
He's saying just cops it there from proper. Sees Afara fighting a little bit too close to the ground, but Chorong at least is able to take the trade.
And if you remember back to Runasapi, it was crazy.
Good trade to start.
Great start, being able to get a big lead and advantage, but in the end, it was Falcons who was able to come out.
Just got to figure out how to do it.
With that Mauga composition.
Ooh, Stalker's a little bit out of position right now, but gets away. All right, 1 minute. Bot hasn't moved. Lip's gonna fall over in a second if it doesn't get healed. Oh, what? That was so close. And there we go. We see our first meters. I mean, because you're waiting on picks. Shu gets to pick on. It's still winnable though for either team. I think they've flipped enough and isolated 1v1s just enough. Yep. I think that should be enough now, though, for CR, and CR takes the first team fight, in a very long team fight at that. A very long team fight at that.
Crazy Raccoon were able to get, and you could see just that trade of poke damage heavily favoring Crazy Raccoon there, and it's part of this might be on virtue of Proper being on the Genji. When it's time to full commit, he can absolutely dive in there with Hanbin.
I would say lead in as aggressively as you can with Kitsune, but like do it. They might do it reactively now, actually.
Well, seeding and get positioned.
I would love to see it used aggressively, but I can see why you would reactively use it. Great Farrell. It doesn't look like it got any kills, but like it did a lot of damage and broke through the beat. Great job. They're trying for trades now. They should get someone on the bot right away. Because if they get somebody on the bot right away, they should give them the checkpoint. I think it's enough to give him checkpoint. I don't know, because they might Juno out point and then Mauga out after. So maybe it's not checkpoint time yet. Lip probably needs to get to high ground in a second, and that's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for the cooldown. He might rotate around the stairs. Yeah, there it is. They got cardiac overdrive out, but they're going to Juno ult this. That we know.
Crazy Raccoon have obviously tracked an orbital right here, so Falcons obviously are going to be primed to fight a brawl style here. So Crazy Raccoon want to
there's the Juno ultimate. They all disengage. Kitsune, but I think they're going to... It's the Mauga ultimate I'm concerned about.
But his blade from Proper doesn't do too much other than frighten Crazy Raccoon. They're glad to back
See, chat? You've watched my Genji. My blades are like that too, okay? See? They're staggering Mauga right now. You know what? They keep forcing the Mauga comp. Why not? Now they're all going to spawn up immediately. All the ones who just went down.
On the hunt looking for anything. A lot like what we saw on Runasapi. It is Crazy Raccoon off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, I have a good Genji, okay? I'm just saying my Genji is a hero that I can select.
Still keeping this Mauga in the mix, but at least now Falcons have some more poke potential. They've got to get back into the map, though. Stalker's got to start...
Probably go in and be aggressive as Winston here, but, like, it's so hard to say. I mean, technically not. You can't even do anything. You need to play... They need to play back for now. That's why. This is the correct play by CR.
They want to contain Falcons and force errors from them again.
But you just have map control. Like, I mean, you have to win ultimates. They have them now, but, like, they need to rotate...
Trying to get anybody, and it's just... I mean, look, they're so slippery. This Crazy Raccoon
that certainly was a Mauga ultimate. I will say.
Kitsune Rush is going to allow Falcons to get under the causeway here, and he's saying eventually is brought down by Hanbin. Lip has been out to fight for some time. He was forced to fold away from Stalker, pressuring that right side of the map. So it's 4 players
certainly was something.
And a sound barrier that was supposed to keep them in the fight, but they've got no interest in taking this engagement, Matt.
Yes, they have to back up as now finally Falcons.
Now they're going to be aggressive. They know the L pool is clean. They cannot lose anybody before then. They got to go be aggro now. This is their timing. What happened to the cage? I think he might have hit it on accident or was trying to get somebody and they jumped out of it, but we didn't have the camera angle at the time, so we didn't see why.
I feel like the comp switch has definitely helped Falcons for the time being.
Stalker was low. Oh, that was close.
Stalker went pretty low and Lip is able to find Fielder instead with the railgun. Safe landing here for Junbin right.
Nice play. Still though, like a good kill there, considering that was looking rough. Hanbin's won. They're gonna reset there.
He'll eventually suffer for it.
And there you go. Good team fight for CR. We got 4:20 left in the clock. Is there any way to get the replay codes later? As far as I understand, no.
Kind of almost in a little bit of a panic, maybe a reaction to using that primal, but knows you need to be able to fight that high ground, right? If Falcons can start controlling the high ground, forcing Crazy Raccoon to be the aggressor, right? With this,
I mean, CR is just going to try to pick up a couple meters here if they can. Like, it's not... They're in, like, no rush here. They might get Sune rush, though. There it is. But Junbin's low. Huge ult. Dude, Hiimishie has been absolutely popping with these Farrell ults today. And I feel like you're going to see a lot of credit going to, like, Lip, and rightfully so. Lip is unreal, but I think today Hiimishie has been just playing at a very, very high level. Like, very, 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 very high level. Like Hiimishie's been the one, like, setting up team fights, setting up plays, like, really just taking over the map. Like, if you don't have that Farrell ultimate, you don't get through that choke. You're just playing defensive. So that play wins them a team fight, gets them an extra 30 meters, and now they go back to playing the way they were. Now, can Stalker do the same thing? That's the question. I don't know. I don't think in a beat engage. I don't think so. I think they're going to save. I think they're comfortable right now.
One correct railgun hit from Lip could end it for the Farah.
Yep.
So piecemeal. Falcons are trying to take this task on. Harping those steps forward, trying to charge on.
Yeah, they're gonna disengage. Okay, so that one got one. They're not gonna use beat. Lip with a trade in the back line, that's huge. Any trade here, I mean, Lip gets Farah too. Now, listen, Falcons are going to win this team fight, but when you don't win it cleanly, you're going to see what I'm talking about. They're going to wave respawn up, right? They're going to be back, and the checkpoint won't even be captured at all. Did they all get good spawn? I think they all got bad spawn. It was like that close.
Where they were able to get a really nice play from Stalker who took out Hiimishie, who had a barrage.
There's a chance they beat Engage, or they might just wait on like Proper's going to have to ult here. Not really. They could just use Kitsune. They use beat. Yeah, they want to keep everybody alive. He's saying is not get beat, though. Lip does trade. So they trade out 1 kill. They force out Kitsune. Lip gets 2. Herman's going in. Probably going to kill the Kiriko. Oh, the bubble! Dude, these bubbles have been clutch. And then Mauga. They're just waiting to kill Mauga. There you go. And look at the ult pool for CR. What I was going to say earlier is they basically were holding ultimates, and they're going into, like, ult save mode. So they used beat because they had to. But then after that, like, there you go.
Yep, they take this high ground position, force that Mauga to come through that choke. Now, this is such a tough position, right? There's no
90 meters.
Can access that high ground.
And this time, Falcons don't have that.
They have a Farah ult. They have a Sojourn ult. A Winston's going to deep dive soon, but they're going to play pretty slow. Inhuman's going in. They should flip the bot first. I was going to say, if they have a timing to just grab the bot right now while they're behind them. That's exactly what they do. Hanbin's kind of caught out right now, so they flip the bot and basically force out an early cooldown. Now they can slightly reset on point again and be in the same rotation. This is like an advantageous spot. Very aggressive. They're going for it. They're going for the win here, by the way. This is what this is. It's a very interesting way to go about it, but what they're doing is they're basically saying, we're going to go in with our ults. We're going to ult stack at the very worst of Team Falcons' ults. They can counter. Problem? Team Falcons didn't have any ultimates, and it looks like they might have... Oh, no. They might have...
You're going to continue to keep this rolling for Crazy Raccoon.
It worked perfectly. I mean, they got out the ultimates that were left. They get more meters, and even if they lose the next team fight, they know they have to be ulted on, or they can just slow play it and then just get no time. So, we lost in this map yesterday, and I mean, I think that was a quick one if I recall. Here's rooting for a map 7. Oh, of course, you want to see it go the distance. That's the fun, right? That certainly was a Farah ultimate, right? Ooh, there you go. They're going to be fine. They're in dry fight mode now anyway for CR. Like, they're just like, they have, I think, 2 team fights before they get the checkpoint. Maybe 1, depending on where this team fight engages at.
Well, the hardest part about this is they don't actually even have the checkpoint at this moment, right?
Ooh, that was a good duel.
With Directs up in the sky is... Now we will see if Falcons can make this run back. I think Proper is scared that they're going to kind of like wrap around and take a really early fight.
Falcons have to win out the entire map from here. We've so rarely seen a comeback of this magnitude.
Did I say 6 progress from the bot? It's because Mauga has a perk that counts as 2 on the objective. That's why. They're going in. This is a team fight that, in theory, Team Falcon should win. I'm surprised that CR even committed ultimates here. I'll be real with you. They get a kill, though. And that kill on Proper doesn't seem like a lot right now. Oh, my. And a kill on Fielder. That is like... Oh, wait. They lost 3. I didn't even realize they lost 3. That's probably game. There's just no... They're going to slow push the bot. Watch. They're going to start tapping the bot very slowly.
This is going to allow Crazy Raccoon, the bot's going to take a really long time to get a fight in that choke.
I think they got back in time. I think they got back just in time. See? They're good. CR is in ult stack mode. Stalker's close to an ult, though. Now it's going to be Farah ult soon. If they even get to that point. I think that's it. Yep. And CR battles through the Mauga comp and wins to go up 3-2 into match point. They probably just told them we're going to take a 30-minute break again. Get the trailers ready. So.
No Overwatch fan of that era will ever forget.
I'm ready.
He's dangerous on that pick.
And the BAP is pretty nasty in combination with that Mei as well, right? Mei Sigma already very difficult to kill, now with that immortality field. So it looks like potentially Falcons, see if they decide to play it.
All right, here we go.
their own.
So Crazy Raccoon do subscribe to the Poke Doctrine here and pedal max out on the Sigma.
He said if this is the NBA, they'd have Scott Foster in there. Is Scott Foster the one with the record that, like, if you're the team that needs to win, you don't want him reffing that game?
Get that guaranteed healing.
I forgot which ref that was. There's a ref that they would bring in whenever you knew there'd be a game. They needed a game 7. You bring in that ref.
Being able to kind of like reduce that cooldown on the accretion with the perk, and then being able to just kind of constantly have those rocks, because the D.Va can do nothing against it.
Falcons want to take space.
But the thing was, is like he wouldn't even ref it badly either. It's just like it just felt like it was.
Falcons need the speed.
Yeah, the extender. Yeah.
Pressure on Crazy Raccoon without those burst moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to have to use that defense matrix, right, to get past some of this damage that comes on down to allow the Cropper to get in position on the Genji. I do wonder if Falcons like read this. I wonder if Falcons maybe thought there was going to be like a Far on the other side or something.
This is why I'm surprised the Mei ban didn't happen. But Falcons are running that comp we talked about. This is exactly what we saw CR run recently, right? This is what happened though. Okay. So I remember this now, because is this the part where CR also kind of gets backed up to the point? Yeah, so this is a strategy, and I think that's why they went the strategy they did with the window on both sides. Obviously, the Juno was banned, so you can't play the same thing, but the impressive part was Proper is so good with the left clicks on Genji, by the way, it's unreal. But last time, what CR did, and most of the teams have been doing, is they give up the whole map there, and they just back up. And they just sit there, and they just sit there for 4 minutes. So going BAP, you just go window, and then it's just a great play.
There's nowhere for them to hide. Max already had used the kinetic grass, not enough to be able to kind of keep him up through that. And Shu uses his amp matrix towards the end, so not going to have that for this next key fight.
Very reactive use of that ability there. Proper just does such a great opportunity at identifying, a job rather, of identifying the window to go in. Fully
bunch of ults coming up.
Here's the blade, speaking of going in, Proper's going for it. Sound barrier now mutually for both sides, so Proper needs to take a
That looks like what
the gravitic flux being used mostly as a deterrent here.
Been there, done that, Max. Don't worry. Been there, done that. Straight up. I mean, that is a classic, because you don't know who to ult because of mobility. Then you don't know who to ult again because you're like, oh no, if I ult this, I don't get anybody. And then you just don't get anybody. You know? But, hey, didn't matter. CR still holds that.
It's a lot thrown in there from Crazy Raccoon, but it also feels like a little bit of a must-win fight, right?
Will the setups be on YouTube soon? Maybe. I don't know. I think DVD's better than that one, right? So that will take whenever it's ready type of thing.
So you have to invest heavily there. You absolutely must win that fight. As also, Choron comes out now on the brink, so want to play a little bit slower.
Really defensive slant here for Crazy Raccoon, but again, against a D.Va, it's a pretty reasonable option. Especially with those perks making Inspire procs off whip.
Here's the window, great window. Falcons do have their own window, so if they disengage this properly, they can just, Now they're kind of funneled into the left side. The Mei doesn't have ult, they know there's no ice block, so they're going to get kills, and they might just roll to the point now. I think they're staggered out too much, and they don't have much mobility in their comp, so they're going to stack 3. You're going to see them go run right back to cart. Yeah. They went Genji to get back, but I don't think they're going to have time. Proper's up there already pressuring,
Brick combination. At that time, you had a Mei in the mix, but feels
that
like
was
you were
great.
just kind of inevitably waiting to die, right? Is now you get a Genji in the mix here for Crazy Raccoon. Give a little bit more of a threat to Falcons.
Can he hang there with what
Dude, Proper's left clicks on Genji are like unreal.
It's been a true showing already on this Genji, and there was another blade ready to go. This time, no sound barrier to blunt it.
I mean, the blade's going to happen. There it is. You knew this was going to happen. I think, this is the right play. You all in the Sigma. And then, that was actually the correct play across the board. Hoops them off the map, guaranteed. They got to get the cart going, but whoever's on cart's doing a good job making sure they don't get as much time. Looks like it was their brig. Very well done there. And actually,
the Dragon Blade into Max. It's actually a nice immortality field thrown in
here
here from Shu. But as that immortality field
Brigel coming up. They do have beat
and then Proper just
soon, not yet. It's kind of like if they time this Brigel Sigma ult, they should hold it. Zarya's Doom and Diva. You got to play around the Zarya, not in front. And I think a lot of people play too much in front. Don't play into the Zarya. Did I just see a boop off the map? I did, and that was the Brigel. That was the Brigel. Oh no. The Venture can touch. Fielder's going to back up now. Window main. Or an angle, one of the two. Proper's one. They demech Diva, and that's that. Yeah, I mean, the window was too good. Although I will say they should have tapped point. Uh-oh.
Oh, that is
pretty rough go there. We could go to a map 7.
Max comes in, they play
we could go to a map 7 if it continues with this.
Slower in design.
Holy crap.
Falcons does not care at all. They run it right past that Sigma, playing a Diva look with Proper on the Genji. That's a lot of time in the time bank here, man.
It's really not something you often think about when you imagine poke compositions playing in like a Sigma style mirror. But the Genji does give you the option, because sometimes the poke comps, they get good damage, but there's enough time for the receiving team to throw a May wall up, throw an immortality field down, get that player top back up, and we just move back into a deadlocked scenario. But Proper just has the presence of mind to know, hey, I can actually get in and
what was the Venture swap for?
And get back to safety. And player advantage.
To get back to the point. That was
everything.
It was straight up to get back to the point.
Falcons will ditch the Genji on D, so they will go to the May, as May has actually turned into a really popular pick from the top teams on this map, at least here at Champions Clash. And then Fielder will play the Baptiste combo that with the Lucio, as Hanbin stays on the Diva. What does Crazy Raccoon do? 253 in the time bank there for Falcons, so Crazy Raccoon, they gotta fly.
Got every reason to.
All right, here we go. I'm ready.
A reasonable option now. The Diva combo, though, causes some problems. I cannot believe we're coming out the Zarya. Okay. Hanbin has no way to mitigate the damage.
A Zarya, chat. We have a Zarya on Circuit Royale.
With how aggressive that Chorong likes.
You know what? Heck it.
You see it there on the Lucio.
Heck it. You know what?
Just send him into the mix, and you want to.
You know what?
There is no
Why not?
Is going to be able to stand there and go.
Now this happens to me in ranked later, and I complain about it because I got counter swapped. I don't care. All right. You know what?
Such an interesting
hello.
This is a great compliment to this. Immortality field plays really well with Zarya, buys their time to get those bubble cooldowns back up to keep her.
I mean, it makes sense. Why not? Why not try it, right?
And Falcons respect this, but probably have to still feel like they have tons of opportunities.
Good bubbles by Max.
Max so ignores the Diva right now. See, Hanbin knows he's just going to get stripped down to his nuts and bolts.
Max has to have good position in here, but if Max does,
the fully charged Zarya just
ooh.
No way you're going to be able to live there, as they were using that May wall to try and keep Hanbin alive, separating from the rest.
Crowd's loving it.
It's a filthy
probably the only time you'll hear a crowd massively cheer seeing a Zarya counter swap a Diva.
Bring their pinch hitter in and win the Champions Clash on
you know?
I know I'm speaking a little bit too early, but Hanbin switching back. We have a good old-fashioned gentleman's duel on the front line, folks.
We have a Zarya duel.
Raccoon happy to get their hands dirty.
I mean, at least in the games that we've cast, this is the first time we've seen Zarya all weekend. So this is.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? And this isn't even a hot take. If a hero isn't being like meta the whole time and being forced like to be played in every game, and this was what happened in ranked with Zarya, people don't mind playing against the heroes as much. It's when you allow those heroes to be strong for as long as you do. You know? I don't mind watching an occasional Zarya versus Zarya duel in OWCS. That sounds great. Problem that might happen here, by the way, is because they've kind of stopped them now, there's a chance they eventually swap off this comp. So,
now Falcons stabilize on D.
4 minutes 13.
There is a chance that happens.
A great early thrust here for Crazy Raccoon, but obviously losing that previous fight. They've built up a graviton surge. And Hanbin's got to be aware of this now. That's surely an ultimate that you're looking to track.
There's the play.
Will be thrown up in response for Crazy Raccoon. It's a little bit awkward. Shu's the only casualty though, so the attackers still have priority. What
a weird game. I mean, Hanbin's gonna fall over here. That's gonna happen.
Leaving Hanbin essentially for last.
Yep.
Crazy Raccoon back on the march again.
All right, they have Grav. I mean, Grav Blade, no else. I mean, I'm over here earlier. Like, this swap by CR was kind of good. For now.
Ash with a Genji still playing that Zarya in the mix. So
here we go.
You're going to have that bubble for Proper, potentially going in, finishing out some of that damage that Stalker is going to be able to put down with Dynamites.
Here's a Blade coming on in. He's saying no.
Nice bubble. Can't do 2 bubbles, though. Left the lamp. There's the Grav. No deflect on Cassidy. Or no I mean, that's true. It's a true statement, but also no deflect on the Genji. Dude, what is going on?
Crazy Raccoon, man, they are doing an insane job of pushing through this map. 4:25 to play. You notice here the Zarya perk choice appeared to be jump ups for Max, so just increasing the self knockback of the secondary fire.
I think the reason why Lip was standing there AFK for a second, because Lip was going, holy crap, these perks on Cass are awful. What am I even...
Zarya have the access to be able to get some high ground, right? Increases that knock up there with the right click. Is there's a dynamite from Stalker to the high ground. Is Falcons, I think they feel like they know they need to dislodge Crazy Raccoon from this.
I mean, you're going to have to grab soon, but their position is really strong. Yep. Good grab. Holy crap, the survivability, though. They traded, though. They're gonna counter now. Yep. They pop window, so they have to back away. They're going to back away completely in about 1 second. But that was enough time. That bought him time. Great disengage. Now they have a Bob. Soon. Then I might do something because of the window here.
Amplification matrix at the ready here for Shu. Deadeye to clear some space as well. Stalker can't really peer into that sightline for the time being. Lip likely will only get a free reload, but it gives a little bit of extra card.
Now the window for Bob maybe, or they just back away? They back away. That actually ended up being a good Bob location. The Bob actually can't be shot at. So there's a window right there, but the Bob can't be shot at. That was an interesting sound, but like I get it. You trade out on Genji's. Max has grab soon. Lip gets a kill. Huge bubble by Hanbin. Max is running low on bubbles, but they're all in. Holy crap, we have a game. Never mind, I might not go to map 7. I just watched Zarya versus Zarya on Circuit Royale.
2:17, I believe.
So it might not.
On the clock now for Falcons. You would
what is happening?
Did not have Zarya mirrors on your bingo card maybe coming into this one. It's a Zarya mirror matchup with some Ash and Mei in the mix.
And if we get that again, the spotter perk taken there by Max means that the projected barrier instantly activates health regeneration and increases movement speed. So it's an amazing pair with a Genji. Yeah. Lets them be even more lethal as they get into the backline, or even just allows you to save a teammate as well.
The threat of Crazy Raccoon.
Now, do you stay on Zarya here? I think the answer there is yes still, apparently.
Takes the diva off the table. This is ballsy. But they'll go with it. So this is pretty ballsy here for Falcons, because I would have assumed that.
Is it in the era of meta? This is so fun to watch. Oh yeah, this has been not like a meta series.
Zarya right off the rip would have taken the diva off of the table on defense, because
Hanbin
you would assume
is starting as diva again.
This time, though, they actually combo it instead of like with a Sojourn. They actually go Genji Mei. So maybe they just want to play
this will be interesting.
Even more aggressive.
At this point, the time bank difference is negligible.
If CR wins, do they have a bracket reset? Nope. Nope, it doesn't work that way.
Reset the map pool already. Crazy Raccoon, though, will have to attack first, being 17 seconds behind in time bank, but instantly they show the Zarya. Instantly, Hanbin has to turn tail. He's got to respect the fact that Max can ignore defense matrix.
I don't believe with this change, though, in terms of the damage dealers, that this is going to bother Crazy Raccoon that much.
No, I mean, they know that they're probably playing Zarya. They're just saying, let's not match that. I think that was the decision they made.
I mean, this time they actually use an Ash, so a little bit more long range.
Oh, that's a huge pick by Stalker. Now they're going to be aggressive in.
Overextension. Yeah. It happened a lot in the previous round.
Yep. I think it was more on the lines of they kind of played into what CR wanted to do there. Ooh, dude, Stalker is hitting shot after shot right now with those right clicks. It's like watching me play Mei, but except the shots actually hit.
maybe dashes on in, gets a Zarya bubble. Now all of a sudden,
Hanbin has 18% ult charge because you can't do anything. Ooh, lips on Widow.
Why not? Let's go for it.
We are rolling back the years. And it's pure fan service at this point.
Yep, Fielder's close to Window, way ahead on Window.
Have a good sideline. Sorga does copper hit, and this really unfavored
Love this play by Hanbin. Excellent play. Ooh, Shu gets proper though. Hanbin gets their BAP, they have to back away. I think
32 seconds left.
Falcons are going to play close.
So they will go Cassidy here. So Cassidy's going to give them a little bit more brawl potential.
Yep.
Especially if the Falcons wants to get aggressive with this Mei Genji.
Stalker has ult. How do you deal with this though, is the question.
Fire, man.
That Blizzard is now virtually
Stalker needs to hit one more right click.
First ultimate to come online. Well, he's
I think CR is going to slow play this until Window. They're playing for Window. That's why they're going slow. They're going to Window and just go right in. Stalker's going to pop ult.
Farming up here for Shu, right? You're going to have the Cassidy with that Amp Matrix.
That's a lot to work with, Matt. That's the
They use bubble.
of a Crazy Raccoon to try and take this fight on a potential checkpoint. Here's the blade in the backline, but the Blizzard will go into the backline of Crazy Raccoon and T-Sank's blade. Oh, Fielder! Outside of an immortality field, can't make use
Oh
of it.
no!
Fights the whole backline with the blade. That's the
Oh
ultimate
no!
you're looking for.
What a blade!
Crazy Raccoon, they'll own the checkpoint, and they're still online.
Yeah, the supports separate there for.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was a rare, like, well, that was a very rare, like, the support split from each other, so there was no way to save each other, so you had to hope that was rare. Wow.
We'll have to battle back towards the card as we go into OT.
This is a good match. I mean, uh-oh.
With a sound barrier here.
Can proper clutch it right now with a good blade?
Some big ult. It's like, can you get a grab, baby?
There's the high noon from Lip. This is a clear space.
Defense matrix though means you've got to be careful.
Lip won't shoot it, so you can get L charge back. I mean, they're going to get grabbed on this blade. They have to go, like, now. And that's why they did. They knew there was a timing coming up. They get the kill on Lip, right? But there's a grab they have to worry about next. They only get Mei. Hanbin has ult. They're going to all in Zarya. They're going to keep all in. The whole team is going to start shooting at Zarya. Yep, there it is. Hanbin gets Stu back.
With a remake back on the card, forcing Hiimishie away, and that'll be that. 52.
I mean, it's far from winnable, that's for sure. But there's a chance. The problem is last time, okay, the last time they did this, Falcons ran over them on first. It wasn't even a defense, okay? After that, they got to slow them down for a little bit. So if they don't win right away, what's going to be the play? That's the question, right? That's going to be the question.
Falcons go to on the offensive side, or do we just end up in that bizarre Zarya head-to-head?
We'll find out.
The issue for the defensive Zarya is that she can be just ignored if he doesn't have high charge. Circumvented. I mean, the zero charge particle beam is really just a tickle to a diva. No, it will be the Sigma look here, which makes sense. Are you kidding me?
All right, why not?
Oh boy, we are headed to the car wash.
Okay, here we go. We're on the Sigma.
Look, this is holding down this choke though is going to be very difficult. For Team Falcons to push on through.
Oh man, I hate that spot. We're in overtime, right? So perks are.
We got the Torben Sim comp. This one did so. Torben Sim was a meta comp for a while.
A very dirty spot into this. So I was talking about maybe we end up seeing some Maga here on circuit.
I don't know. I kind of think that I like this play by CR because it's very like late game. And you're like, what does that even mean? They're not worried about this first team fight. They're worried about what they can do overall. They're going to try to win the first team fight, and they do easily. Right? Ooh. But, like, you give me a Simul and a Torball at the end of a game, I take that any day of the week. Yes, there's perks. Hence the Torb turret on the wall. Yeah. They're making swaps. They're doing Mei Sim versus Torb Sim. Rhine? I'm sorry, Hanbin on Rhine, just as I planned to see today.
Falcons now move up. They've got the mobile shield. Max instantly respects it, but their TP's going to make this weird. Accretion blocks entirely. Hanbin shrugs that off quite happily. Now Max has to worry about everybody surrounding him. As Shu going down. Proper was able to get in and get.
Okay, there's a. Oh my. Chad, there's a very interesting thing that's happening right now, though. Is they're moving the cart during this. They have setup time. They have a window.
We get the Hanbin Reinhardt here using the sim to get past that Sigma shield. And then
they have another retake. They switch Torb. They're off Torb, so that gets rid of that part. Stalker, holy crap.
Really outside of fielder here.
Okay, he's saying good response here. Not much you can really do about it. Yeah, the back can shoot it, but it's really not.
It's window time. They have to window soon to be able to buy some time. No, back away, back away. Disengage back left. They didn't use TP, so this is going to be a roughie. Oh, no. Yup, they have to reset. They might even stagger him. I think CR's in the driver's seat right now because they can just literally use... They're off the Rhine. They have Sigma ult. Hanbin's going to try to fly over top right. Problem, though, is you get ulted. Oh, never mind. Went main. That was a correct play. If Proper gets wall here, this becomes very interesting. They're going to slow play it. They're gonna ult probably the window. Proper has ult now. Heisang gets the kill. Max gets the kill. That's it. I think CR is going to win. I think that's it. Wow, what a series. The Zarya swap. I thought I was going to map 7. After they had that 3-minute clock, I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's it. Like that we're going to a map 7. Nope. Nope. The Zarya swap. Holy crap. And there you go. And see, chat, it wasn't a Mauga meta. It's just a team that was comfortable playing Mauga. Tournaments where you don't just see the same comps all the time become the most exciting to watch because it comes down to the skill level of the players and the strategy. And that's why that was such a good series because saw Mauga a couple maps, but it wasn't Mauga versus Mauga the whole time. Great series. Again, these teams put on a show every single time. It's been very rare we haven't had a really good match out of these two teams. And there you go. CR takes the win, pulls off a great... And honestly, you gotta remember, this is the same CR team, right, that lost to Nightmare and ended up in the loser bracket. So this wasn't just like a clean winner bracket run. They were in the loser bracket really early on. And they had to play, what, 3 times in one day just to get to that? So, CR earned that win.